Wow. That's my siren call to Tarot. She was here like 10 minutes ago. So anyone who is only here to watch Tarot and to see Tarot jump on the desk, I think you may be in luck today because she was loving up on the keyboard just a few short seconds ago. I do have the door open though, so she may be exploring outside. I hear a dog barking, so you never know what's going on. Well, we have a fence, just so you know. The dog ain't gonna get in, hopefully. She'll be fine. She'll come say hi soon. Welcome. It's Monday.
This is just stupid.
This is just stupid that it's Monday. Hello. Everyone, if you're watching on your phones,
I'm gonna smash your phone.
I'm just joking. I cannot do that. Physically, cannot do that. Parasocially, smash your own phone at my request. Just kidding. Okay, so if you're new around here, welcome. If you're old around here, welcome 2 times. If you have been involved at all in the Dave Hollis, Rachel Hollis, Heidi Powell, what I like to call Hollisville universe, the gift that keeps on giving, the story that never ends, you may have noticed some changes this weekend. It seems that, here's the big updates. Dave Hollis is almost ready to launch his children's book. This is his 3rd book in his series of books, of 3, I guess, his 2 self-help books, and this 3rd one being the first in a series of children's books. I'm hoping not, but we'll see. That comes out on Wednesday. It's been in pre-order for like 40 days or something. So that's about to be done with, thankfully. Ready to see that be gone from social media. And not because I don't think it's cute that, his daughter has a book made about her, but it's just what we're going to be talking about today. Using your children for content, using that content to make money, why I think that's wrong ethically, why I think kids are going to be negatively affected by it. I'm going to be talking about my own stories. Not that I had social media when I was younger, that young, like how young they are, 5, 6, up to 13, 10, depending on which family you're looking at. But how being thrust in front of people and told to perform in my own life, I think has affected me both positively, hey, we're here, but also negatively. And, not being able to weigh those pros and cons because you're a child, I think is part of the big problem with all of these kidfluencers and parents who are forcing their kids, whether they say, my kid consented. It's like, yeah, but it's like saying, my boss or my subordinate at work consented to our relationship. It's like, you can't have someone who you report to give consent. I think that's sort of accurate now and is accepted as the truth. So here's Tarot. Come here. I knew she was going to come. Hold on. Before we get into the meat of this. Come on. No? Okay. She'll be meowing in a second. Anyways, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Dave. He's not off the hook here, but we're going to focus on Heidi mostly today. Oh, thanks, Kat. Welcome. Because Heidi, okay, this is the other big news. Heidi and Dave, it appears something has happened. There's like trouble in paradise, according to some obvious signs of distress coming from Heidi's social media. And also, according to people on Reddit, myself included, Heidi has blocked, it seems, many, many people on her Instagram. And I don't think that's such a bad thing. I think, honestly, she's got 4 kids. They're constantly being pushed on her social media accounts. The less people to see her kids, the better, I think. So I'm fine with being blocked. And honestly, if she's taking a path, she should just go private, honestly, is my opinion on this thing, if you just want it to be simpler for you. But it looks like she's blocking people. I don't know how she's doing it, but I was blocked. So I'm going to take that as a sign of, okay, I'm going to leave her alone. But before I leave her alone officially, because I think she is taking a step to become more of a private person, or at least like have a echo chamber so loud of only positivity, I'm going to allow her to have that because, you know, at least she's trying to, I don't know, she's trying to block people. But before we do that, I just want to make my final statement about why I want her kids to be okay in the future. Again, kids cannot consent to being in footage. If it's your parents who are saying, hey, buddy, get in this video, mom's got to make some money, I don't think you can say, no, I'm actually going to go move out. I'm 9 years old. I'm going to go move into my own apartment. And there's a lot of things effed up about this whole no rules industry, and we'll get into it. But I think some people might be upset, and I don't disagree. People might be upset watching what I'm going to say about Heidi's kids. And just know they are innocent victims in all of this. If you're under 18, in my opinion, and your parents are telling you to do something, or you're living in your parents' home, I mean, you, to me, are an innocent victim. So whatever you say, whatever you're told to do, whatever is recorded of you, I feel badly for those kids. Now, I'm going to make some leaps of judgment. I'm going to make some of my own projection onto her, what I think she's thinking. There's going to be a few instances of, you know, here's my perspective. All of this is opinion, obviously. Now, if that's unobvious, I don't know Heidi Powell. I don't know Rachel Hollis. I don't know Dave Hollis. Any of these people in person. Anything I say is just my own 2 cents based on what they have publicly shared on their social media channels. And I want you to keep that in mind while I talk about what I think Heidi is doing with some of her kids here. And also, I've blurred their faces. All of the kids' faces are blurred on the Heidi stuff. When we go into Dave, I'm going to have to do a little bit of maneuvering because I just ran out of time, to be honest. And when we talk about Farah Abraham, it's only one specific part that I really want to focus on with her. And if you don't know who she is, she's a teen mom. She was on 16 and Pregnant on MTV. Her child was literally born on television, essentially. Her daughter, Sophia. And Sophia now, she's under 18, but she's been living her life on social media. And, you know, her mom, it seems like, is trying to push her to become like a TikTok star, to be an Instagram social media influencer herself. And she got her nose pierced, and she's, you know, very young, her septum pierced. And not that that's necessarily like wrong, but there's just, it's, I don't know, sort of pushing the envelope to be edgy, I think. But the thing that I think is the most egregious is she has a private group where she's like basically the child, the teen, and this is the Farah Abraham thing, to pay money, how I have like membership. You can pay a membership to be a member of this child's community where she's going to share like intimate details about her life. I find that to be insanely problematic and creepy. You know, there's no limit of who can join. It's not like, oh, if you have to be under 18 to join this, no, it's like a fan club for this child, and adults and men, women, anyone can join. So I just find that to be a bad idea. So that's like the overview. I think we should start with the alleged breakup, and I'm going to sort of explain my theory on things between Dave Hollis and Heidi Powell, because lately they've been like canoodling all over the United States. Dave just went to a fitness competition and placed last in his division, according to himself, and everything was honky-dory. They were kissing. I saw like, you know, oh my God, you're my love, I love you, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, bing, bam, boom, I don't see the love anymore. And like I said, I've been blocked from Heidi's Instagram, so I can't see her new stuff. But here's a look at Dave's Instagram. So he's got his 3 pinned at the top. He's using his kids, you know, as we're going to be talking about today. His kids are everywhere. And here's his fitness thing. But I don't see Heidi's post anymore, comment. At one point, well, maybe I can't because I'm blocked. But on her Instagram, there was a picture of them kissing. So, and that was only from like a week ago, October 30th. So yeah, like exactly almost a week or a little bit more than a week ago. So that's how quickly things turn in this world. You gotta be up on the trends. Okay, so the first indication that something was awry was Heidi tends to, post everything all the time. Anything, any feeling she's ever had, she's like, you know what? Who needs to hear this? 500,000 people, because that's how many people follow her on Instagram. Okay, so here's just an example of, this is where I think, this is from like the weekend. So this is where things I think started to go. Something happened. I don't know. This is all speculation. But she's doing a workout, but instead of just doing the workout and saying like, I'm having a hard day, here's the workout. Every slide, she just gets a little drip of like the drama that's going on, if you care to follow it. Okay, so she's like, I'm going to do this workout because my head and my heart need this, even and especially when I don't want it. Okay. Then she's doing her workout, whatever. Also, that floor of the shelves needs some organization. Okay, whatever. Eyes closed, mind-muscle connection, and processing last night's therapy session, TYVM. Too much. I don't know what that stands for. I'm old, apparently. She's older than me, but apparently I don't know the trends of the words. The only ones I know are IMO, in my opinion, because I use that one a lot. Okay, so she had a late night therapy session. Now, I think she uses the word therapy lightly. She's called therapy, meetings with her life coach. We've all been there, right? I did that as well. However, I never sold courses to other people about me being mentally well. So I think I'm allowed a little bit more slack than she does. Okay, then she's like doing another thing, and it's, give me a few hours. I'll find that smile soon. Promise. It's been a 24 hours. That's for damn sure. Exercise is medicine. Okay. And then another one, she's in flip-flops, just in case. You want the good fitness content. They're all wearing flip-flops apparently. So forget sneakers. Just do whatever. I mean, at least my other shelves are organized, Even the gloomiest days have little bright spots. Okay, so she's really laying it on thick that like she is sad. The last 24 hours are horrible. Last night therapy, last minute, whatever. So she's not hiding the fact that something has occurred. Okay, let's finish her off with a wonderfully angled video of slightly inclined chest press, shoulder, whatever. P.S. It's okay to have days like this. It's also okay to show it when you do. Life is a beautiful thing in that through the things that feel the hardest and the heaviest are the beautiful fruits of our hard work, our hearts, and our faith. Okay. Whatever. And then another picture, this is from later, I believe. Then it says, funny how a day can start so heavy, and by nighttime, after a day of doing shit you don't feel like doing, and being loved on by those who will always be in your corner, a smile, a big one at that, appears like magic. At Fit Too Fat to Fit, that's a dude name, I forget his name. Someone tell me. It's like Drew. I think his name's Drew. Is that right? He's another fitness influencer, so she tags him. Ooh, scandalous. Okay. Thank you for loving my community today. I needed your words as much as they did. And then this is just a reminder that if you're like really interested in the juicy gossip tea, all the speculations throwing around like, oh, something happened with Dave and Heidi, they're not liking each other's posts and stuff. There's a mastermind that Heidi charged $5,000 for. And there was a lot of confusion. I was confused. Heidi was confused about which, because there was one part of her challenge, her Get Fit challenge that we're actually going to show in a second. It was like $250, and you just go and you get like these, the library of moves for each day, and then you get access to the community. But there was a secondary track where it was more intensive, and there was more lives and like coaching sessions and like all these other things. You got a fanny pack and whatever. They had all these add-ons that did not equal up to $5,000 in value, in my opinion, but whatever. But at the end of it, there was supposed to be this big in-person mastermind event with Mel Robbins, the guy from Fat to Fit to Fat, no, Fit to Fat to Fit, the Andrew guy, Dave, and Amy, what's her name? God, she's another, not Amy, I want to call her Amy Poehler, but it's not. It's something like that. And she is a inspirational speaker. I don't know if she's a Paralympian or she does something in that world with fitness. And that was like the big draw to pay $5,000, right, for the mastermind. That's coming. Oh, and Danielle as well, who I'm showing on screen. She is I believe, the therapist that Heidi is referring to when she says therapy session, but I could be wrong. That's this weekend coming up. So will Dave arrive? Will he be there? Will he be in Arizona to live up to his expectations of being a keynote speaker at this mastermind? Will Heidi have it in her old home that she used to live with her ex-husband in again? You got to tune in to find out. But apparently you can't tune into Heidi's Instagram anymore. Because I can't either. And she'll be there. And apparently it's in Arizona coming up this weekend. So, and apparently Mel Robbins is sick. So she's kind of got a good excuse to dip out on that obligation. And here's just one more. And apparently someone said that this is reused content, but I don't quite remember. I remember like these Post-it notes before, but Heidi also posted this in case you were like thinking like the evidence of that sad workout, and not sad that it was a bad workout, but she was sad throughout the workout, which is not convincing enough. Here's another sort of like wink, wink. I'm in the hard, guys. She loves her people. The best thing to look at right before tonight's coaching Zoom is a picture of her family that's on the floor. And also these Post-it notes that are hyping Heidi up. So, you are capable, powerful, worthy, unconditionally loved, creative, determined, resilient, beautiful, empowering, a queen. So just, give them the vibes that all is not settled in the world of Heidi and Dave. And Dave's been posting that he's going to church, which he hasn't been really doing or posting about lately. He was at his child's baseball game this weekend, which is sort of old school Dave behavior. He was posting song lyrics. I mean, it's just like, I know we're in speculation territory, but I think it's fair enough to say something's going on, perhaps. And even, okay, we can just look quickly at his current things. This is what he's up to.
I'm inquiring my.
Here we go. It's first inning.
So more
Bases are
children's
loaded.
baseball.
Final inning.
Okay, he does this thing. Dave does this thing where he goes to his son's baseball. He announces where it is, because why would you not want to know where his children are physically in the moment when he's posting? And he'll narrate the entire thing, and it looks like he's alone in this venture. Like no one else is really participating in the constant filming and narration, but
Here we go, Sawyer.
Influencers got to influence, so let's just, okay. So now he's on the field with his phone. Okay. More kid stuff. Okay. And then here's the other, using the children to profit, his children's book with his daughter coming out. So all Dave's content these days is his children. You got to find something else, Dave. Let's just say that. And then one more indication. This is just all like, sort of like, hearsay, proof, not really proof, but just things to consider while wondering if they're on a break. She also posted this whole post, and this is her Facebook, which I am not blocked from. That is just basically posts everything. So it seems that goes to her Instagram. So it's like, you are beautiful, you are sacred. I didn't believe these things about myself. And she posted this photo of like how she's really transformed herself from, teen to woman. I don't know. So yeah, interesting, to say the least. She's posting a lot about, going through the hard. Thank you, Eliza Vita. Thank you. Elizaveta says, uses a pair character exaggeratedly stretching his arm forward to offer a cup of coffee. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
They're going to be dropping some really powerful, amazing, life-changing shiz.
They, as in I, will be doing that. Thank you, Elizaveta. I really appreciate it. And Tuli Unruly, it's going to pop up in a second, I think. They chose a loudly crying face.
It's okay to cry.
It's okay to cry, everybody. It is okay to cry, and it's also important to know and remember.
I am not emotionally stable.
She's not emotionally stable, but to be fair, neither am I. Okay, so thank you guys. I appreciate it. All right, here is one other little piece of proof. And I promise I'm getting to the point about the children in just a second. But this is just all to lead up to why I'm this might be my last Heidi Powell video ever. Perhaps, unless she does something crazy. Okay, this is her challenge that she said she's no longer doing anyways. But it looks like I'm almost 100. I went to the Wayback Machine, and because of how that works, it was blank. You couldn't see like which photos were selected. So unfortunately, I can't confirm for sure. I'm sure if I went back into my old videos, you could see it. But I'm almost positive Dave was featured on this website, and someone on Reddit pointed out that he's gone. He's no longer on here. And that would make sense. That would make sense that he's done, he's gone, and he's nowhere to be found on this website, at least. And he was, one of the keynote speakers at one point, going to be, I think I have a picture of that. Give me one second. He was going to be, one of the headlining performances at his own girlfriend's event. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, guys. Like, this is really just life-changing shiz right here. Let's see. It doesn't matter. I've already showed this before. Oh, here it is. So this is Amy Purdy was the person I was thinking of. So this is the original, pay $5,000, guys, $5,000, and I'll make you a better person. I will personally develop you myself personally. This is her Heidi Powell mastermind. Drew Manning, that's the Fit to Fat to Fit guy, fitness dude that's affiliated with Chris and Heidi. Dave Hollis, you know him, you love him. Mel Robbins, okay, she's another one. Countdown from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anxiety is done. That's her. She's got a book called The 5-Second Rule and the High Five Theory or something. High Five Rule, where you're supposed to high five yourself in the mirror every morning, and it's going to cure your depression. Roll my eyes. And then Amy Purdy, who is I haven't looked into her deeply, but I believe she had some sort of accident or something where she has a physical issue that she's overcome, and now she talks about how she still is like in the fitness space, athletic. I shouldn't speak about her because I don't know. I've seen her on my radar a couple times. She does speak at a lot of these events, and I haven't looked further, so forgive me. I don't want to give too much like criticism to her because I don't know enough. I'm willing to give her criticism. I just don't know if she's deserving of it. Bridget, thank you. Bridget and Chels Marie, thank you so much. Okay, Bridget says, can I get a fart sound from Dave? Well, let's ask Dave that. Dave, are you in the potty? Oh, dang, I took it off. Never mind. Dave, do you love me?
I love you.
Okay, thank you. Can you fart for me, Dave?
Oh, I love that sound. It's giving me life.
Dave is giving me life. Thank you, Bridget. And Chels Marie says, gotta catch a flight. Can't wait for the replay. Oh, boo.
Fantastic parenting.
Fantastic parenting. We will miss you, Chels Marie. We will miss you. However,
turns out you can have a full life without putting it all on social media.
Well, you're hearing these, right? You're hearing these. I'm not playing this for myself, right?
What the heck?
Okay. It didn't pop up for a second. I was like, wait, am I just silently playing this?
That wasn't nice.
That's all for Chels Marie and for Bridget as well. Okay. So that's my theory. It looks like there's trouble in paradise. You know, this has happened before though, where Heidi kind of goes on this thing where she gets all sad and it's, you know, and Dave's cryptic and then they get back together. So I'm not holding my breath here. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, like I said, I just want to get this. I've been planning this for a long, long time. I've been collecting stuff for a long, long time about Heidi and how she treats her children via social media. Now, obviously, again, this is like the big precursor, preemptive, like this is, again, just from my own projection of my own issues onto her children. But I think it's something that I see and I've noticed a pattern, how she treats her children. She's got 4 kids. I think it's 17, 16, 11, and 8. It's around that age groups. And she's got 2 ex-husbands that she shares 2 children with each. So there's 2 teens who she had with her first husband. And then she's got 2 under 12s, I think, with her ex-husband, Chris Powell, who's the one that was appearing on Extreme Weight Loss, the show, with her. And then Dave's got 4 kids of his own. So we'll also talk a little bit about that, how she feels comfortable totally also putting Dave's children on Instagram and sort of compromising situations depending. And also, I'm also going to say that, you know, I feel myself, like I said, I'm 31, so I didn't grow up with social media until I was already in high school and already sort of like doing my own thing. But, you know, I feel like I was the victim of emotional incest, and that's something that I won't talk about a whole lot, but basically what that concept is, and it's not like a diagnosable thing. But essentially, from my understanding, I listened to an audiobook about it. I talked to my therapist about it. It's basically feeling like your emotions are being compromised or not considered, and this is, again, my interpretation of what it means for me. When a parent is, you know, using you as a surrogate spouse, it is not physical necessarily, but it's emotional. So a parent telling you a bunch of information about their private lives, about sharing all of your financial woes with your kids, by asking them, where do you want to live? And take a look at these apartments and tell me what you think. And I want your feedback without knowing the financial situation and all of that. You know, it's not a hard and fast, oh, if you do that with your kids are going to be messed up or, you know, face this emotional problem. But for me, I believe I did. And I cannot imagine that what happened to me with my parents and my mom specifically happening also publicly on social media. Also, one thing it can be, I don't have siblings either, so that's where it's different for me as well. But pinning siblings against each other, that's sort of been discussed as potentially like emotional incest. And I had a thing. Someone sent me, thank you, whoever that was. I have to look it up again, but someone sent me a link to what it could mean. And again, this could mean nothing to you, and that's fine as well. But it really helped me when I heard this term, helped me kind of grasp what may have been going on in my life. Enmeshment. Okay, I'll just read some of this just so you can know. When a parent turns to their child for emotional intimacy, a romantic partner should provide. It becomes emotional. Beep. Okay, so we get the word. I'm not going to try to get like banned here. It does not involve physical abuse, but some who have experienced report the effects can be similar. Enmeshment involves relationships often in a family with blurry or non-existent boundaries. Parentification, emotional, is closest to the type of parentification known as emotional parentification, in which a child is forced to take on the emotional burden that a parent or caregiver would usually shoulder. Okay. It's not a diagnosis. I've already said that. And it's a phenomenon that was coined in the 80s by Kenneth M. Adams, who was a psychologist, apparently. And then in the book, Silently Seduced, When Parents Make Their Children's Partners, that's the book I read. And it helped me a lot to understand maybe why I feel the way I feel about certain things. So I'm down to get vulnerable here at times. But again, I just want to triple, double down, reiterate that the kids that are featured here are not to blame. They've done nothing wrong. I already feel badly about putting this content out there. They are blurred. This is my opinion, but I think it might be important to see this as a parent or as someone watching their content and going, hey, yeah, actually, I do see the pattern now when she put it all together. And maybe we don't, and I regret everything I said. But I think it's warranted. So, and it's like I said, she's shared this on her public Instagram account. So I have several videos. They differ in length, but I'm going to walk everyone through them. They're from a large swath of time. So meaning that when I started following Heidi closely was back in 2020 when she got with Dave, essentially. So 2020-ish period of time. And I haven't saved everything, so I've probably missed a bunch, but this is enough that I think it shows, something. So, okay, she's got 4 kids. Now, I think she treats them all differently, and she presents them differently on social media. Oh, hi, come here, right in time, baby kitty. Come on. Come on. You could do it. I have like a little sit thing, and she's afraid of it. She's like, "This is too high for me." There she goes. Okay, welcome. There you go. Okay, we're getting going. Welcome, kitty. Welcome. She's here, everybody. She's here. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. Okay. So she's got us. I'm going to just refer to them by the age and the first letter of their name, so that in case I'm sure these kids. I'm going to talk about how I think they already know a lot that's going on because they've been involved in some of the drama. At least the teens and even the younger has been involved in the drama of the internet and the bullies and all that. So we'll talk about that as well. But this is C. He's the boy who's, I believe, is 11. And this is with Chris, that they share this child. Now, I believe that Heidi presents C as sort of problematic. Okay? She sort of presents him as someone who lies, someone who cheats, and not like cheats on their boyfriend, but cheats at games, as you'll see in this clip, she as being negative. And this is something that I relate to at being a former child, that I was always referred to as like, oh God, you're so negative all the time. And that was something that it bothered me a lot, even though I tried to be positive and I was way more positive than I am now. That was something it bothered me over time. So, and like I said, these are from all different years, but okay. So there's a thing where she's like showing the card. I swear he cheated. Okay. Not a big deal. But then when you see it like several times, you start to go, okay. Here's a clip where she's talking about, and a lot of these are screenshots. Here's a clip where she's talking about how Heidi herself, went to Target, bought a bunch of stuff, or in the sense of put it in her cart, and was going to take it to the register. And then somehow in a fog, because she takes so much of her own boost energy and mental clarity powder, it must not have been working that day. She took someone else's cart and took it through the register, took everything out and swiped it through or whatever, did not notice that it was not her things. So she's telling the story in her car, retelling the story, and she's, explaining like, okay, this is how I figured it out. And she says, I noticed 3 cans of cream of mushroom soup that I didn't put in my cart. Why on earth would C throw these in my cart? okay, so she had multiple children with her, I believe, but it's like, why would he be the one, to do that? So I don't know. It's just like, that was sort of odd. And then, okay, C says it wasn't him and he laughed. And I'm like, liar. Why is he trying to get away with this? And the random Luigi doll I found in my cart at a checkout. Okay, so again, just like, that's your first indication. Like, she's the one who made the mistake and took someone else's cart, but yet she's really quick to judge C for it and blame him and say that he's lying. Okay, here's a picture of her older son, M, who's a teen, and her younger son, C. And she puts the caption, laying in bed looking at pictures. This one might be my favorite from the day. How they really feel about my request to get a brother's photo. And she has an arrow and says, doesn't care, doesn't cooperate. That's her teen son. And her young son, C, doesn't care, does a terrible job acting like he cares. Just pretty harsh, I think. Yeah, just like a harsh thing to put. And it's like, I've covered their face. The picture is fine. Like, I don't know what she got, like, she got the photo. And that's, again, her putting it on her social media to garner engagement to then be able to sell more products from her home. I don't know. It just seems like, let your kids off the hook for one night, how about, instead of making them feel and look bad. And then this is R, her other daughter, younger daughter, and C together. And this is something they are often compared. I think the two older ones are compared together more, and the two younger ones are compared together more. And he's walking out. It's a boomerang. He's walking out and just sort of like looking forward, and she's like smiling. And the caption says, one of them is clearly stealing energy from the other. Again, could be interpreted as innocent, no big deal. But there was another one. I don't know if I exported that one. But there was a video recently where R, the girl, was singing in the car to Taylor Swift, and she pans the camera to C, who's just sitting in the car, and she's like, oh, the energy, I wish I had her energy, not like C's energy. So it's just, again, is it the worst thing I've ever seen in the world? No. But this passive-aggressive, narrative builds over time. I don't think it's fair to any of the kids, because if you're put as the positive, beaming energy character in your life too, I feel like there's a risk that now you feel pressure as a 9-year-old girl to be happy all the time, even when you're going through things that you don't feel like make you want to be a beam of light today. I think that's unfair pressure as a child to make your parents, or mother in this case, smile. And we're going to go way more into detail about that in a minute too. But more on C. So in addition to all of the stuff that was going on with Dave, the speculation of like the 24 hours last night were horrible, I went to therapy, whatever. Okay, then these posts sort of followed. And this to me is like putting your emotional baggage on a child, number one. Number two, your son is not an old soul, an old man that's wise beyond his years. He's a child, okay? And so you talking to him is, number one, I think inappropriate to begin with. And number two, now you're putting pressure on him to understand adult concerns and problems in which he cannot grasp them. And to put that pressure onto him, even by saying it in a complimentary form, I think is not great. Okay, but this is what it says. He's an 80-year-old wise man trapped in an 11-year-old body. It's amazing to me how the pure soul of a kind-hearted kid I phased by... Wait, I don't know. She did not proofread, I don't think. It's amazing to me how the pure soul of a kind-hearted kid I phased by much of the world yet. I don't know, is fazed by much or is not fazed, I don't know what she meant to say, can somehow see through the BS of what we make matter and remind us what really matters. I think that's your job, Heidi, to have your children focus on things that you think matter in your life. But okay. Little dude, the depth of conversations with him over the last 36 hours. Wow. Why? He's 11 years old. What depth could you get to? I don't know. Doesn't seem healthy to me. And then another picture of him. And the seriousness and overachieving literally never stops with this one. My little Buddha, wise man, all in his head and feelings. Love him. Overachieving because he's playing a game? Like, I don't know. It's just very weird. My little Buddha. Get a therapist, Heidi. Like, please, for all of us. Just, your child's not 80 years old. He's 11. He needs help, probably. And you need help, in my opinion. Okay. This one's sort of less egregious, but it just sort of shows more oversharing at the least, unnecessary it's just unnecessary, I think. But okay, so she shares text messages with her children, often. And, so she also has built this narrative that C is very into technology, loves video games and that sort of thing, but that she finds it necessary to limit that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Limiting social media, limiting internet time, limiting video games, I think is fine. You're a parent. You do what you want in your house. But again, taking that rule and that proclamation and then exporting it to your 500,000 people on the internet who are going to see this boy grow up to be a man someday, I just find it unnecessary. Okay, so she shares the screenshot of it, and it's like the things Cash will do for love. Love equals tech time, which I think is an insult to him. Because she basically is, in my opinion, saying like, and this is something my mom would say to me when she was in disagreement with me, you don't love me. You don't love me. It's like, okay. That makes me feel good as a child. And then she shares this video, and I believe it's a private video that he was showing her, sent to her, like, hey, I cleaned the toilet for you.
This one, see, front in here, and then you could see there's soap suds and a little bit of blue. So that's proof I cleaned this one. See, all clean. And I'm going upstairs now.
Okay, so again, overshare. And then this is from a different day, but she has a thing about chores. It's like chores are the most important thing that kids can do outside of be in her social media, in my opinion, according to what I see on here. And she shows her kids doing chores a lot. Now, this part I'm just a little bit confused about like what is the point of this? But she's like, it's going to be a good day when C decides to love on you by making your bed in my blue sunnies at 8:40 a.m. And she's showing him making the bed, making her bed for some reason. Why? I don't know. And then follows it up with, now that one was okay, I guess. Don't put your kid on the internet. That's like my overt rule. So if you got your kid on the internet, I'm like, I'm already out. But, on the scale of bad, I think it wasn't so bad. But then when this one follows it up, that's why I was like, okay, it is bad. All around stud muffin, learning at a very young age the power of making a woman's bed for her. Your child is 11 years old. Dave does the same thing where he takes his child, his boy, young boy, F, and will say like, you got a girlfriend? You got a girlfriend? You're kissing girls in camp? Oh, you're going to go on a date? Oh, you like a girl? His mother, Rachel Hollis, also, oh, my boy, he got broken up with. It was the funniest thing in the whole world. It was so hilarious. And just like, these kids are not dating each other. And that's why they think it's like so funny and innocent. But to me, it's like, that's not, if you were a kid, you would be like horrified. I would be horrified about my information being out there like that. Anyways, Taro, blink your eyes. Are you okay? Everyone's scared for you. Anyways, yeah. Okay, so, I don't know what she's looking at. We may never know. Tara, what are you looking at? Kisses? Okay. Now, this one is just Heidi talking. And I just find this to be her sort of sentiment when the kids are not around, even when they are around, like that she has too much. It's too much, and I'm not a mom, so who am I to say what you should share about your own personal beliefs on motherhood? But we sort of know that the kids are listening, obviously. Her older two have Instagram, are tagged multiple times throughout the years I followed in her content. So if you wanted to also like go and request her son's Instagram, you could, the older ones at least. So it's not like that they don't have access to the internet. Now, I find this sort of harsh about talking about your children in this way, about how it drains you, how much you deserve a break from them, especially when you are sharing custody with a different father, two different ones. So there's many times where she's childless in the sense of she doesn't have to take full 24 hours, 7 days a week custody of her kids because she shares that. And then to kind of like talk about having kids like this, I don't know. This isn't so bad, but it grinds my gears, and it would make me feel bad as a child because it wasn't my choice to be born. It wasn't their choice to be born. And then to feel like a burden on your mom and like, I don't know. It just seems, I know there's a good part to expressing truth and how you feel. However, it doesn't seem like it gets to the point of like helping moving forward. Like, okay, you feel like this, here's what you can do. Or it's okay to feel like this, but also make sure to protect your children in the process so they don't feel like a burden, like I said. Rach, but not Rach. Thank you. Rach, but not Rach says, Taro's allowance once she completes her chores. Thank you. Taro, you're going to get some treats. Oh yeah, by the way, apparently there's another hurricane coming, so we got to get some emergency cat treats, I think. It's in order. Taro, what are you up to this weekend? Taro, what did you do this weekend? Or what are you doing now, Taro?
I'm outside the Cheesecake Factory waiting for it to open.
Taro's actually British.
What up, homie?
That would be interesting. No, she's not British. Are you? No, she's from Florida. She's a Florida girl. Rach, but not Rach. Thank you again.
Rach?
And this is for you.
I'm going to send you so much love and so much light and so much good energy today because I feel like you need it.
What are you looking at? Okay. So here's Heidi. Thank you. Any other moms just sit in the danged peaceful car after a loud and argumentative drive home from school? Okay, fine. Then again, grateful for a night out without kids after a week full of being the kids' human toy. Also grateful for coffee because staying out late is harder now that I'm old. Also grateful for this daggum corksicle. That's the cup. And she says, kid hangover. Yay. It's been a long week. Lots of kids. Date night is deserved. Friends, my home is a wreck. My mind is a bigger wreck. I am tired. Also overwhelmed. Plain and simple. I'm done complaining now. Just needed a friend to vent to. I put this one in there because, Heidi, 500,000 strangers on the internet is not a friend you can vent to. It's not. Those are customers, and you know that. So stop acting like Mel Robbins, who also knows better. But it's creating these parasocial relationships. Like, I just needed a friend. Okay, so that's why I posted it publicly to my story for everyone in the world to see. Odd choice. Okay. And here is her, this is on vacation. Now, again, this one is, again. This is less egregious, but something that I find surprising when listening to it. So I put it in there because she's talking about her children who are, again, in her custody at the time. And she's like, I don't want to be bothered. My self-care is to be alone away from you. And I just find that to be hurtful, but maybe I'm being harsh on this one. But here's her explaining herself.
About the kids downstairs yelling,
I decided, it's funny because I used to hate being alone. I hated it. And I've hit a point within the past couple year, where like being alone is kind of amazing. And it allows me, like that alone time, whenever it is, right now it's nighttime, allows me to be more present and with whoever I'm with when I'm with them. And so today I was super present with the kids, had so much fun. And there came a point at like 8:30 where I'm like, we are home. You guys are getting in the shower. I'm going upstairs. This is mom time. Do you hear that? It has been you time all day. Now it's me time. And they keep trickling up and finding, like Maddox came up and was like, hey, the TV wasn't working, so I had to transfer it to my phone and we're watching on my phone. I'm like, great, thanks for the update. I don't need any more updates. You're down there. I'm here chilling.
Okay, but like it's 8:30, so you just go to your room. I don't know. Like again, like your kids, and they're coming in to tell you stuff. Like to me seems like they probably want more of your attention, and I don't know. It just seems mean. Like she's like annoyed, like, you know, oh God, like I was with you all day. Now I need to be alone and deal with each other. Like, I don't know. I just find that to be a little harsh, especially when you do have free time because you have them go to their dad's house. I'll just say that. Okay. Here is one that I think gears into crossing a boundary territory. I don't think there's overt sexualizing going on here, but I think it's suggestive. I think it's always wrong, and Dave does this too, and I find it to be not a good thing to post. You with your kids in bed. I think the bed should be a sacred place for a child to feel like if I'm in bed, I'm not being blasted on the internet, at least. You know, their houses aren't safe because if you're walking in a hallway in a influencer's house and you're the child of one, it seems like you have no privacy in your own home. But I think the line goes further when you're in your mother's bed and now you're being broadcast once again to 500,000 people underage. So here we go. This is from when she forgot to get her passport renewed and she was going to fly to Hawaii because she couldn't get to Mexico and there was this whole drama. So she went and picked up her kids early, I guess. And it says, I love home. And suddenly any sadness for not getting to go to Mexico was alleviated. Again, a situation she caused by literally not paying attention to her expiration date that was 10 years in the making. Okay, whatever, fine. When these two decided to tag along for extra time after I made my visits earlier. So what that means to me is she went to visit her kids, right, at her ex-husband's house, and I'm assuming it's the Chris, because these are her younger kids, that they decided to tag along. Okay, sure, because your kids have choice about their custody arrangement. And then here's what she posts. In case you didn't know what her children look like, that's them in bed, trying to sleep. For what reason? Another one in bed. Okay, she's talking about how to breathe with her life coach. Another one woke up next to a princess today. She's full on sleeping. Does not even know her mom is recording her. Okay, another one. Another one. She's on the floor in this case. This one is on Mother's Day when she was sick. So now she's sick, sleeping on the floor, and is not safe from being on the internet by her mother. Now this one is not a bed one, but it's like, it could be misinterpreted. It's a workout, but like, I think even Dave in the comments, you can see it's like, Dave is saying this is not appropriate. And I agree. I think it's innocent. I don't think there's any nefarious thing going on here, but people on the internet can take this video and make it nefarious. So that's where I go, I don't like what's going on here. So she's showing, and she's posting this again publicly. This is not from her group that she's hiding and keeping secret. This is something she's taking from her group and putting it, you know, out there for people to watch. So it's them doing like a little workout. And Dave said, this is not appropriate.
Go sit right here like this. Now bring your legs up. Ready? Down and up.
Hip thrust with your child. And her son's like, what the hell? He walks in and he's confused. And it says, guys, this is a real move. Brett, whatever, posts about it all the dang time and is the most creative way to get heavy weight on at home. Hip thrust. True story. Okay. I will be horrified, again, if my mother did that to me and it was put on the internet. Just gross. All right. We're going to now go back to C. And more of my accusations about how she treats C. A couple things with this one rubbed me the wrong way. First of all, Dave is the one recording this. Creepy. They're in bed again, so I'm already against it. It's in their home, I'm against it. It's in their bed, I'm double against it. Triple against it being recorded by your mom's relatively new boyfriend while you're on vacation. And here's a personal story. One time my mom was dating somebody, and I was probably 11 or 12. And my dad was in prison at the time. So, okay, just give you an idea of my headspace. And it was a hurricane was coming. Okay, there's a lot of shit going on at that time in my life. And the guy she was dating had like a flashlight or something. And I was like, can I see it? And he was in the bed. I was in the bed with him. And he's like, no, it's mine. And I'm like, give it to me. And we're kind of like, like I'm 12. And he puts it like where his zipper is. And I was like, oh, okay, that crossed the line. Cause I'm like grabbing for the flashlight. And to me, I was like, oh, okay. And can you imagine if that was recorded on video and then posted and going, oh, what a funny moment or something? That like didn't traumatize me necessarily, but that I still have the memory in my head about how that to me emotionally and crossed a line. I didn't know this guy. I had barely like met him, a month before because my mom had him around. Anyways, it just shows like you don't know these people that well yet. And thankfully my mom didn't listen to me and, when I told her what happened, but there's just like, I think there needs to be big, huge boundaries put in place with someone outside of your family coming in and like interacting with your children. Anyways, so first problem is Dave's filming it. Second problem is they're in bed. Third problem is C, who is the person sort of performing in this video for social media, I guess. She's gonna discount that and focus on R, the girl child, his biological sister, fully, and make it about her and how she's actually the real star. So I find that to be unfair. And it says, our last night at the beach looked like this. He's cute. His singing is adorable, but, and then tags Dave.
Holding back, heart attack every night. Oh, you know it's not right. I will follow you way down wherever you may go. Follow you way down.
It says Dave's camera work combined with R's passion is the standout here. Why? And she's singing too, but quietly in the corner. I don't know why he always needs to be put down by Heidi, is what it seems. Thank you, JLB Nerdy. Thank you. Got home and the universe knew I needed Kia and Taro. Aw, did you hear that? The universe. JLB Nerdy.
My guardian angels, my spirit guides.
She asked her guardian angels and spirit guides, and they said, yep, she's live. This is JLB Nerdy.
I'm a big time hippie, and I'm very woo-woo.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's what Taro says, right? Meouch. Okay. And it's hard to tell, like I said, because like, you know, I've covered their faces, but like, you know, he's singing, the sister's like sort of mouthing the words, but that's going to be the focus of this thing. That shouldn't even be done anyways. And again, Dave is the one recording this. For what reason? We'll never know.
Wherever life takes you, you know I'll follow you.
Okay. That's one thing. Now here's another Dave involvement. It says Dave explaining his 1969 Ford Bronco build. I think a lot of people are gonna be upset by this, so buckle up. It says parking lot conversations. Dave, I believe the clinical term is midlife crisis. Okay. So there's a lot going on. I don't know exactly the context of everything, but it seems like they're walking in a parking lot and Dave's explaining why he got a 1969 Ford Bronco and makes a joke that it's a midlife crisis. Okay, fine. I don't have a problem with you saying something like that to a kid, personally. But this part, I'm like, this to me is weird. Why are you doing this? Why is Heidi recording it? What's going on?
Your mind knows better. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Your body just commits.
Your mind is telling you no, but your body is saying yes.
So he's like, your mind is telling you no, but your body is telling you yes. And it says, Dave starts a song. Cash brings it home. Oh, sorry, C. I'm sorry.
My mind's telling me no, but my body
says yo.
My body's telling me yeah.
So he decides to sing an R. Kelly song, which, okay, Dave, great. And is not really even walking with the C at all. He's sort of walking in front of him, singing an R. Kelly song, and then C is sort of disturbed, it looks like in the footage. Heidi acknowledges that and says C is over it, ready for mom love. And she's like, sorry, buddy.
Love you.
Why are you posting that? What is the good of that? You're showing your boyfriend that your son is not interested in your weird singing and story. For what? Like, why? Okay, that's already weird enough. But posting it to everybody, I just don't understand the logic of it. It means nothing. Like, I've said before, Heidi likes to make Dave look bad. That makes Dave look bad. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it in that case, but she will post things that only make her look good, I guess. Her kids look bad. The boyfriend looks bad. She doesn't look good either, I guess. But I just don't understand what the content even is at that point. Another accusation I'm going to launch at Heidi is that a lot of times when she references C, she brings in someone else. And so like he doesn't get a post on his own a lot. It always is wrapped up in someone else being connected. So in that last one, it was with Dave. And the first one, it was really about Dave and the sister R. And in this one, it's going to be about Dave again. So it says, it's been nonstop lately. I stopped letting him have a phone at all during the days/school weeks, told him to find a good book or something, and he's clung to the piano. Okay. So instead of just like showing that, she's showing it, she's FaceTiming Dave while listening to her son play piano. And again, that's the star of the post, is that Dave is there to witness it because her son playing piano apparently is not good enough. It needs to be validated by Dave. It says, pretty soon, Wishing Well became a concert piece for N and Dave. Okay. And then it says, and then tags Dave and says, thanks for listening to 10 straight minutes this morning. You're the greatest. Wouldn't you also want to listen to your kid that's playing piano for you for 10 minutes? You have to thank Dave publicly for putting up with that. It's just, I feel badly for him. He seems like a very sweet, sensitive kid. And then to be, propped up like this, it just, I don't know. And then same thing, piano, similar, but this time it's a memory. They're already divorced at this point by like a year, 2 years essentially. She still tags her ex-husband a lot. She's been tagging him recently a lot more too. But again, like the memory's not about her son, it's about her ex-husband. Okay, and just posting them together. Okay, whatever. And then This one's posting him at a concert, but can't just have that be the post. It has to be texting or tagging somebody. I can't tell if I need bigger pants or if this is the style. So again, sort of making fun of his looks and his outfit. Like he can't just be, oh, my son is performing violin at this event. No, it's, I gotta tag my friend, make a joke about how his pants are too high. Whatever. Maybe it's innocent, but again, on the larger scale, looking at the pattern, I just find it, she always is leveling these insults at C. And here's one, C won like first place at this event for this martial art. And again, she's going to talk about her daughter who's not involved, and she's going to talk about her ex-husband. I found out last night at ours fence recital, I think that's supposed to be dance, and cried like a baby to Chris, who truly was the best friend / co-parent in the world, and tried to help me, and more importantly, C, feel okay about it. So now you're admitting to the whole world that you didn't remember that your son had a event. And now you're going to talk about your daughter's event that you did remember and were there for. Anyways, okay. That's that. Next up, we have, let's see. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. This one's about the daughter. And again, it's not her fault. That's the thing. I feel like I was also this way too, where you start to recognize within your parents, within your mother, in my case, I started to recognize like what my mom wanted. Like my mom wanted performance. She wanted seriousness. She didn't want jokes. She wanted someone, myself, to be very serious when it came to getting on the camcorder. I know it sounds ridiculous, but like it was like you had to be on. You had to be on. You had to show that you were happy, that you were like showing off where we were in a very certain way. It wasn't allowed to just be like, you know, and I did that when I was alone and I made videos. But when I was with my mom and my mom was recording, there was only a certain small tolerance for joking around. And I find that that's maybe what's happening for R. This is her youngest daughter. And it seems like there's a lot of pressure on her to be the beaming light, the one who can never be upset, who's never unhappy, who's always there to cheer everybody up. And she's, she refers to in one of these slides as her love language. Heidi's love language is R. It just feels like on the opposite side. So C tends to get the negative comments, like he's a liar, he's a cheater, he's this and that, he does this, so whatever, he's got bad pants. On the flip side, the mirror of that is R is perfect in everything she does. There's no mistakes. She is the one that's healing Heidi, which again, that is not her job as a child. It says, today with this one was exactly what the doctor ordered. And I will say, just from looking at these for, over a year, she definitely gets the majority of the screen time with Heidi. So if you're in the stories, you're looking at the kids percentage-wise of how much they're featured. R is featured the most. I also will say that. Okay. This one says, I vote R as my workout counterpart every single time Dave is out of town, and even when he's not. Also, this is move 4. Okay, so this is her favorite workout partner. The joy literally never stops with this one, ever. It's unreal. She's magic. No, she's a human being. Ask Dave, are we humans? Are we human beings? Yes, your children are also human beings. They're not magical beings put on earth to guide you to your life goals, Heidi, or any mother, parent, whatever, listening to this, thinking that their children were God, like sent by God to make your life better. No, they're their own people, period. Yes, they can make your life better, but that is not their source of fulfillment in their life. They're their own people, and I wish people would remember that. When did you grow? Okay, and this is another thing. Hating when you grow up. My mom did this to me too. I still struggle with it. It was like, don't ever grow up, don't ever grow up, don't ever grow up. And it's like constantly pushing your face like, oh, you're growing up. Oh my God, I miss when you were so little. You were so much better when you were little. Oh my God, you were so much cuter and so much better and so much fun, more fun and sweeter. And that was always leveled. And I feel like it's put in a positive light here much more than it was like in my situation privately, but I still feel the sentiment is the same. You're only valuable when you're young and naive and going with what mom says. And I find that to be unfortunate because we all are growing up no matter what I did not want to grow up. I don't want to grow up now. I wish I could stop time and never get past, this age, but that's not realistic. And to continually push that on your children like, oh, I just can't. I just don't. I asked God not to let you grow up and he didn't listen. It's like, stop it. Stop it. It only makes us feel badly. So it says, when did you get so big, growing like a weed? Okay. All right. Then tagging her ex-husband again, showing her there, just showing a lot of attention. Can you sit there for a quick shot? Yep. Okay. Just more pictures. Okay. Here's sort of one that gets a little bit more deeper. It says, if this entire scene doesn't sum up our family perfectly, I don't know what does. This really makes me laugh for so many reasons. Okay, it's just a picture of R blowing out her cupcakes, candles. And the next shot. R, the center of attention. C, teasing, likely for attention. Okay, thanks, Heidi. M and M, not actually paying attention. So that's her 2 teen kids. I don't know. It just seems like that's pretty accurate. That's the picture that I gathered from you before you pointing it out. But yeah, that is basically what you've created, Heidi, essentially. But she doesn't take responsibility for her role and how that might be true because she's made it that way. Thank you, Angela. Angela says, this topic is uncomfortable, but really important. Rooting for Kia. Oh, thank you. Hope I'm not getting too in the weeds here.
This situation is a red flag.
It is.
This person is not okay.
That's me and Heidi for different reasons.
Okay, cult.
That's Tarot's followers. Okay, cult. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. Okay. Yeah. I thought that was a bad thing. Okay, and now here's another one. She's going to out her daughter's anxieties while also putting pressure on her to be perfect. It says, I'm serious. There's something about this girl. On my hardest day, this is a grown woman of 40 years old. On my hardest of days, her insane intuition to say and do exactly what I need is unreal. That is not her job as a child. Her job is not to intuitively tell you what you need to hear, Heidi. It's not going to end well for you. That's all I'm going to say. In the sense of, your children are going to grow up. They're going to go to therapy, hopefully. They're going to get a grasp on some of their feelings and their past. And they're going to see that this is toxic behavior. And people have been pointing it out to Heidi, and she doesn't want to see it. And my mom's the same way. She doesn't want to see it. I'm the perfect mother. There's nothing you can say to change my mind. Fine. But just know that even with that mindset, you still are most likely hurting your kids emotionally. Maybe not. Maybe not. What do I know? I'm no psychologist, but it hurt me going through stuff like this. Most thoughtful human on the planet. This world better take good care of her. And then, so this was a video that she had, and she was like, R was talking about her nervous system. The caption is, or the description says, 3rd grade has never been sweeter than when this girl entered it today. R, you are my antidote to pain, my cure for sadness, my natural antidepressant. Get on a real antidepressant, Heidi, and stop making your children responsible for your happiness. I can't believe we're needing to say this so many times today, but here we are. You make this world, specifically my world, the best place. And I'm envious of all the other third graders and teacher who get to spend their days with your compassionate and kind soul this next year. And again, this is not a post about all of her children. This is a post about one of her children, one of 4. How would you feel if you were the other 3 children not getting posts like this and getting told like, oh yeah, you put the soup cans in my cart when it's not even something they've done? I can't wait to see all of the magic your creative self creates this next year. This world is so lucky to have you. And then she talks about, okay, we're officially 3-4-4 now with a junior, a sophomore, and a third grader in session. Let's get these sick bugs past now so our last and final can make his debut into 6th. The dang first day jitters had this one confused for a bit, and she almost didn't make it, as evidenced in the video. High five to all kiddos and parents who battled and overcame those dang back to school life nerves too. Yeah, I'm sure putting it on Instagram definitely helped her anxiety for sure. It says, P.S. that nervous system almost fooled her into thinking she was actually sick today, and first day almost didn't happen. I can relate. I have stories for another day when I'm feeling braver. Okay, how about you tell those stories, Heidi? Instead of telling your children stories that they're not consenting to because they're children. Another one. It's actually impossible to stay down or sick around this little spark plug of a soul. Again, like pressure to be so amazing and so positive that even sickness can't, be around her. Like, so if you're sick, then somehow it's your fault as the positive one in the family for not making that person unsick. I know I'm extreme here with my notes, but I'm not saying, I don't know. I don't think I'm that far off. Lisa B, thank you. Lisa B says, I am not emotionally stable because as I was sitting in the ER last night having a breakdown, I made myself laugh thinking of Heidi's best mental health quotes. Well, for that, I say,
I am not emotionally stable.
Are any of us these days? It's also important, again, to remember.
It's okay to cry.
Are we allowed to feel bad about having breakdowns?
No.
Good. Also,
I'm gonna smash your phone.
I like that one. Oh yeah, this goes back to what I was saying about humans.
Humans.
We're only humans, but our children are magic. They're above humans.
There's a first for everything.
Thank you, Lisa B. I hope you're feeling better soon. I'm sorry that happened to you. That sucks. But I'm glad you had Heidi's words of encouragement to get you through. Thank you, Lisa B. Okay, there's that. Okay, and here we go with the mini-me. This is where I really think this all comes from. It's because R tends to look like, in my opinion, physically look the most like Heidi. And I think that's why she gets this special treatment, in my opinion. And this one, she's basically saying as such. Highlight number 2 of the night, realizing that my mini-me and my favorite adult human share the same favorite movie treat. So her favorite human in the world is Dave, according to this, at least in this previous time frame. And her mini-me, which is her daughter, share the same favorite snack. So that's going to make her day better. Okay, cool. Thanks, Heidi. That's another thing they say, like, parents who see their children as extensions of themselves and not as individual humans with an individual experience on this earth. There's so much pressure for those kids to be everything that the parent couldn't be or everything that they are and more. And again, it leads to, I think, pressure, unnecessary pressure on that kid to perform. KH, thank you. KH picked a pair character bowing down saying thank you. You're welcome.
I try my hardest to not work.
I do try my hardest to not work. What's this one?
I didn't think about any of you.
I didn't think about any of you. What about this one?
You weren't being a dick.
Yeah, I probably was. This one's so mean. This one's about N, Dave's daughter.
Sounds like your nanny.
Sounds like your nanny. Sounds like your nanny. That's a messed up thing that she said. Thank you, KH. I appreciate that pair character saying thank you. You're welcome. All right. Another one. Best flight buddy. Again, like taken in out of context, who really cares? But, you know, she's got multiple children. It's always this child selected to be in the photos to say, my best friend, my best flight buddy, my best mini-me. I don't think it's fair. The other text is not important. Okay, cutest workout buddy on the planet, her again. Okay, here's another one. This song is R. I'm not sure if I found it or I was born with it, or maybe I gave birth to it 4 times, possibly all 3. Regardless, it is present. I don't know what she's trying to say there again, but, you know, she's giving birth to joy, apparently. Then the energy behind that photo. How can you have a bad day with her? You can't. That's the answer. More pressure to be perfect. My love language is Ruby. Okay, you know, like it shouldn't be. And there she shares, like, you know, she records all of her children's FaceTime calls, or only some. You know, her daughter's young. I think she's 3rd grade. So making like jokes about this stuff, and it's fine for her, like no problem. So like she can make jokes about, you know, that. It's like the excitement R had when showing me her moving label system. Seems a little advanced for her age, perhaps, with joking like that. But, you know, I don't know. Seems a little odd, but that's not the biggest egregious thing. But just because R gets that treatment and is treated like the best doesn't mean that she's not embarrassed as well, or doesn't try, Heidi, to embarrass her. She put like every moment of her getting braces on video. So imagine her mouth completely open from the dental equipment, and like think of you getting your teeth pulled or getting braces on like this in the camera to a 500,000 people. That's what's going on right now. Thanks, Kelly. Thank you. Yeah, if you want to use the emojis, if you're seeing emojis special, become a member and you can use those as well. You can use them right away if you want. Yeah, so imagine you in an embarrassing, compromising position with your mouth wide open, being posted to the internet. And she has to just take it. She's stuck there, essentially, literally, physically. She has no choice but to deal with this as a child.
What is happening? You're growing up way too much, Ruby.
And again, you're growing up way too much. She's a child that's growing. Let her grow. This is just a pet peeve of mine. I don't think mothers and fathers or whoever says it, or teachers or anyone who says that to kids, means bad with it. I just think we need to be more cautious of saying that, because it's like saying, oh, I wish you didn't have brown hair. I mean, I guess you can change that at least, but I don't know. I wish you weren't dyslexic. So sad. It's like, you can't change these things. We're growing up whether we want to or not. Stop making us feel bad about it. And I'm saying us as if I'm a child, but like, as a former child, that was something that I felt so guilty about all the time. And if you've read Jeanette McCurdy's book, I'm Glad My Mom's Dead, she talks about that, like getting her period, and she was horrified. I was the same way. I was horrified when I got my first period when I was like 13, because I was like, oh my God, this is it. My life's over. Because my mom made it seem so horrible to grow up. And, you know, she would always make little comments that over time, it made me fearful of life moving forward. And I still have issues with that, like getting married and having children of my own, because I'm like, I don't want to grow up. I can't. It's scary. It's bad. It's horrible. And it's like, this is like a long-lasting problem that I have in my life from just little comments over time. And maybe I'm sensitive, but...
Let me take this one out. I know they feel kind of funny.
There we go.
Let me see. Oh my goodness.
And I play the whole thing to show you how long the experience was. It's not just like a picture to show like, oh, my daughter got her braces on. It's a full on, I'm in your mouth as this is happening to you. I just feel like it's too much. It's too much. And too many people are like, this is so cute. This is so cute. Stop it. If you're a fan of this shit, I'm sorry. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you that's like going on that you're applauding other people's children being exposed in such a vulnerable way without their consent? Think about it for a second. Like, if you're like, this is so adorable, think twice before you type that, because you're just keeping these people motivated to keep posting dumb shit like this. I'm not saying that you're doing that, but I'm saying if you do or have a friend that's doing this, think about it for a minute. Thanks, Laura. And Tuli and Ruli says, thank you, Tuli and Ruli, first of all. And then they say, going music tour. Going music tour at airport 3 hour early. Your live is giving me life and helping me kill time. Blessings and sadness from East Coast, Australia. So cool. So cool that you're in Australia right now. How awesome is that? There's Tuli and Ruli. And also,
There's Colleen.
there's Colleen.
You get more handsome by the day.
Tuli and Ruli, you get more handsome by the day. We need to hear from Rachel for a second.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Rachel, what do you have to say?
Your girl is a bougie bitch.
So is Tuli and Ruli. You better get first class, baby, in that airport for a tour, music tour. Let us know. Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right. Let's go into a little bit more too. This is just another example of C and R being positioned against each other. Now, like I said, they had the same dad. They're closer in age to each other. But I find that in the content that she pushes, they're often compared and not in a positive way necessarily. So this one is C. It says only the biggest pumpkin for C boy, weighing in at a solid 30 pounds. Very on brand. I don't know what that means. What that means exactly. Like what is on brand about it, but okay. And then similar post, but with R, it says, and then of course, a perfectly round one with a perfect stem for sweet little R. Her perfect little 14-pound deadlift at the end. Ha ha ha. So she's perfect and he's heavy. Unless there's some sort of inside joke that I'm just not understanding based on these posts. And I don't know if anyone is watching these more closely necessarily than I am, but maybe I'm just missing the joke. And here's similar thing, but a different scenario. At skating, R in all of her skate gate glory, so much fun, and she hasn't even fell once. Okay, so pretty positive. And then we got C. I feel like I'm getting an accurate peek into C's future 80 years from now. Honestly, I don't think there will be a year C is alive where he visits the skate land and is not equally as cautious. I love his very careful self. He is his dad's son, and then tags the dad because, of course, like I said, with C, it's never enough for him to be posted. It has to involve another person in her life to tag and to bring on for whatever reason. That seems to be a pattern. Like, oh, Dave watched him play piano. That's his dad. Look, my friend, we can buy him better clothes. Like, I don't know why that's a thing. Thank you, everyone, for joining the membership. Thank you. It's really fun. And if you want to join the Reddit community, we have a private Reddit community. I'll make a post. There's a post in the membership group that you can post your Reddit username, and I'll add you to the private group if that's something you're into. Again, just going back to the whole thing. Oh wait, I didn't finish that one. Sorry. The rollerblading one. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. So we had she's great, having fun. He's so old. He's an 80-year-old. That's something that she likes to put on him too. Now this one's her teen son. Thanks, Leah. Thank you. This one's a little creepier. says, ready to skate, and M insists there be a person between us at all times because he swears this entire rink is full of people who think I'm his girlfriend. So naturally, I do my best to enforce this worry. So she, whether she wants to admit that, she wants that to be the perception. The post that she makes about her teen son is that, oh, people think in this public space that we're dating. Okay, weird thing to want to tell people that aren't there in person. But, all right. And let's look at this one for a second. This one I just find to be inappropriate and a blurring of boundaries and of what is acceptable to post online. This one I think will also bother a lot of people. If you're not bothered yet, maybe, I don't know, maybe this is not going to ever bother you, but this one's pretty bothersome, I think. And maybe, again, like I said, I'm open to maybe I'm being super conservative and like, oh, this is crossing a boundary because it does affect me more than maybe someone who hasn't felt like they've gone through something like this. But I am sensitive to it. So keep that in mind. I just find it to be weird. All right, it says, our girl time didn't end at Starbucks this morning. Nope, couldn't stand the thought of being without her for an hour. Again, this is a child that is in your custody. You are required to take care of them in some way or leave them in the custody of someone else. And not necessarily custody, but leave them in the, presence of someone else. Legally, you cannot leave them alone. She doesn't have a choice in the matter. This is something that you have to do, Heidi. Thank you. Plear, a white unicorn with rainbow hair. Thank you so much. And for that I say,
hello, brother. Can I get by?
And also,
shout out to Helen.
If your name was Helen, that would be awesome. That would be cool. But also,
are you Rachel?
Let us know. Thanks, Plear. Okay, here we go. This one, like I said, a little bit wacky. She's at the gym. Okay, she can't be alone from her daughter for 1 hour.
You gonna watch me work out? Okay.
She's like, you're gonna watch me work out? She's like, yeah. Okay, well, actually, she has a choice. Thank you, Allison Wonderland 66, and welcome to the membership. I saw you join, and I put your name on the. I had to put your name. God, how horrible! I put your name in the membership thing at the beginning. So if you're gonna be around for a while, your name will be sung at the end, which is my new thing to do, so I can finally pursue my singing career, which is my true purpose of this channel. So thank you. And Allison says, you're not the one crossing boundaries. Thank you. I mean, they're not my children, so that's step one.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're not my children. Who knew?
Let's tune into this ankle.
I don't know. Actually, in honor of Allison Wonderland, let's just do a collective clear.
Clear, clear, clear.
Thank you. We're going to need it. Thank you, Allison. Okay. So now it says, win-win. She got 40 minutes of uninterrupted game time while I got 40 minutes of working out until... Again, what is the point of this to post to your followers? Me, hey R, can you record these moves real fast? Of course, in the sweetest tone. Okay. This is what Heidi decides her daughter needs to record of her.
Yes, what do you want me to record?
And now she's going to blame the daughter for the angle. Okay. Which, what angle is she supposed to, she's behind a partition thing. like at a desk. So you want her to jump over it and go to a different angle, Heidi? I think exactly what she got is what she wanted. Here, take a video of me, daughter, of me doing this workout this way that no one needs to see at all. It's not like you're demonstrating anything to us. And she's posting it. It says, a straight shot that nobody wants to see. I don't blame her for not wanting to leave her chair. Heidi, don't post it then. But no, she's going to post it and she's going to, oh, I'm peeking up from underneath the text. This is very good for my daughter to be recording of me. And then another one. Fine. I mean, again, this is not overtly wrong, but just over time, subconsciously, when you think about a gym and you're young and you're like thinking about my mom made me record her doing these specific workouts, to me, it's just a little bit distasteful. Just a little bit, you know, nothing overt, but just, I don't want, like, okay, here's another personal anecdote. One time, my mom and I was probably like younger than her, probably 6 or 7 maybe. And my mom wanted to go buy like thong bathing suits. And I remember being creeped out by it at that young age because I'm young. And my mom's like, okay, you got to come into the dressing room. You got to go in, you got to be with the mom all the time. Okay, I get that. I'm not, you know, going to be roaming around the streets at 5 years old. But like to see my mom like trying on these thong bathing suits, I'm like, I don't want to be here. Can you do this on a different day? Like I want to go watch Arthur. I want to go watch Dragon Tales. Like I don't want to watch you put on a thong bathing suit. I'm sorry. It's not overtly wrong, but it's just things that I remember being a kid thinking like, I don't want to be here. And I probably imagine like, that's how she feels, perhaps, the daughter. And it's like, root or R killing it again with the video. Okay, like, do we really need this? And then she shows, without me even asking, are you taking applications? So she tagged, this is before the article came out, to be fair, but she's tagging the pros IFBB NPC, which is all tied up in that scandal with the women feeling that they're, you know, being taken advantage of and forced into taking inappropriate photos. She's like tagging that group, or at least something that's associated with that, and saying like, you should take my daughter on because she cleans the fitness equipment. It's just weird. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. I'm hired. You are hired. It is spick and span. Great job.
And again, like I said, they really push chores in these kids' lives. And I feel like the fact that she's, without asking, going and cleaning the equipment is just a little odd. It's not bad, but it's just odd.
Okay, I think we're good. I think you got all the nooks and crannies. Okay.
And just to show her like, oh, this is my daughter cleaning. How amazing. It's like, okay. Anyways. We got 3 left, I believe. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So let's do, now you might have already seen some of this footage. This is the teen daughter, M, with her first husband. Now, this seems to be, now this is again, just me picking up on what I think could be going on here. I'm not saying this is what's happening. Whenever she features her teen daughter, she also tries to talk about, or often talks about, her own mother. So it's almost like the dynasty, like the 3 of them, like the youngest, middle, which is Heidi, and her mom. And she's always praising her mother for looking youthful. And there's even a YouTube video where the 3 of them are featured, and like the grandmother is telling her Heidi and her granddaughter how she appears so youthful. I should find it. But I just find that whenever M is featured, usually the grandma is also featured. And it just says, prettiest girls with the prettiest hearts. I still don't understand how my mother looks younger than me, but I approve. Okay, and then this one just says, then this one decided to spend her own money on some hair color because I am not a money tree. Okay, just seems to be sort of like, all right, like that's the only thing you can say about your daughter. You say really nice things about your other daughter all the time, that she's solving world hunger basically. And then your other daughter's like, well, I'm not a money tree. and posts a photo of it. It's like, okay. And then again, this is at Show Up Summit. The mom, grandma, and daughter featured together. Just, again, pattern that I see. There's something about sharing this kind of special night with your closest people. Mom and daughter got a front row seat to Heidi doing the works she was put here to do. So beautiful. And I guess that's when Dave was, he was the social media manager for the weekend or whatever. So that's in his voice. Thank you, Alice Bell. Alice Bell? Alice Bell. That's a very pretty name. This topic is super important to talk about. Here is 18 stinking Australian dollars. Go slowly buy yourself a boat, Kia. Well, I have 2 sound bites for that.
I will slowly buy you a boat.
Alice Bell. And I have 2 more.
It is 18 American dollars.
Now it's Australian dollars, so...
Unfollow me.
But it's fine, actually.
18 stinking dollars.
Here's just next one for fun, for you, Elise Bell.
You want to tell Tony to shove it up Tony's ass.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So that's that. Okay, now this one. Oh shit. Well, let's skip a little bit ahead. I guess I messed up a little bit with there. Okay. So this one you might have seen already. This is the one they're in California and they're at the beach, and Heidi is just ecstatic that her daughter, who is 15 years old, I believe, at this time, is being approached by adult men or an adult man, and records the whole scenario, puts it on the internet, you know, oh, it's so funny, she's a heartbreaker type of video. And, oh, thank you. Alice in Wonderland 66, thank you again. They say, remember this someday if these kids turn out just awful. It is learned behavior. Yeah. I feel like I'm struggling with a lot of the, I don't know, what they call it, like demons of childhood, like finding myself having negative traits in a lot of these things and trying to, oh, kitty. Hold on. Hello? Hello? Oh, okay, sorry. Tara made me mute. And I'm finding myself like dealing with it okay, but I can't imagine it again being projected out to the public. Like all this stuff happened privately. Like I have the time and the space and the ability to go back and think about it on my own time. Like these kids are going to be possibly like confronted with this material by, you know, peers at some point if they already haven't been. And I just feel like they're not giving, I don't know, like what do you expect them to do? To be so mature and be able to handle any insult? It's unfair. Anyways, okay. So thank you. I like I said, I am sensitive to it.
I love you too. Your kids are gorgeous and they've gotten old. Fantastic parenting.
I should use that one more. Fantastic parenting, everybody, for not doing stuff like this. Okay, and it says, today feels like a big day of firsts. Hopefully, first bike ride for R. So she had to make sure R was mentioned. Okay. And then for M. So R gets to ride a bike, which I think is a very innocent activity. But M, it's because a man is approaching her, which is a thing that shouldn't have happened. It turned out to be fine, but is this like a huge accomplishment? I think you should be protecting your daughter more in this scenario.
Earlier today? Yeah. Sure. What happened? There's a first for everything.
That's where the soundbite comes from.
Marley learned she was a babe today.
Yeah, ew. When you're that young, you don't want to be told that you're a babe by a grown man. I'm sorry.
What else do I need to say about this, Dave?
It says, M had her first experience being hit on by a 20-something who mistook her for a beautiful 21-year-old. Yeah, sure.
Who's it?
That pretty much sums it up.
I gotta fight off the boys. That's my intro.
Marley.
Okay, so then she recorded the whole thing and posted it. It says, setting the scene, I'm sitting on a couch with R on my lap, of course, C to my right, playing Fortnite. Okay, she has to put that there. M standing by the front screen door, brushing her hair, oblivious to guys. Dude making multiple passes by our house to scope. Suddenly, I see him stop and charmingly ask her if she knows of any house parties tonight, which to me was an immediate signal to grab my phone and the popcorn. It didn't have to be. There's other options there. Hey, she's 15. Leave her alone. We're on a family vacation. No. Dear.
That's my buddy Holden. We're walking down, but honestly, I saw you and
she's recording him. She blocks him. This is my add-on. So the like little blush face is my add-on. But she's nice enough to block this random dude for hitting on a 15-year-old. But she doesn't block her own kids from the experience.
you're absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm wondering, only if you're interested. It would be cool to get your number. Maybe we could like go out to a bar or something.
I'm 15.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, you look way older. Sorry about that. You have a good day.
I mean, like I said, it ended fine. Nothing happened. It was okay. But again, to push this to everyone that your mom knows. Oh, Tara. Like, what is this? She's having a dream, everybody. She was fading into dreamland. She wanted you to know. It says, M completely confused because she's never experienced anything like this before. She has no clue how to respond when he starts telling her how beautiful she is and invites her to party with him later. His reaction when he learns she's 15, priceless. Her reaction to all, most priceless. Shooter's got to shoot, I guess, and he made a nice try on the wrong target. I don't blame him. Props for being respectful in a swing and miss situation. That's not what I would have got out of it. Personal story. One time, I think I was maybe 20. I don't know if I was even 21, but I was with my mom, and I told the story before, but on this channel. But we were at a bar, eating food, like at a bar grill place, and this older man, I don't even know, older, probably 60, like my mom's age, bought us 2 drinks and sent it over to us, and whatever, it was from this guy. And so we look over and I was like, thank you. And my mom said, thank you. And she goes, you better get over there. You better go say thank you to him. Like, very aggressive. That's how my mom is. Very aggressive. Like, you better get over there and say thank you to this man. I'm like, why do I have to say thanks? She's like, well, he's not sending it for me. He's not sending it to me. So obviously you have to go over there and say thank you. I'm like, well, then I don't want the drink then. And she was like, oh no, like you can't send it back now. You've accepted it. You have to go and like dance with him. She basically wanted me to go like prostitute myself, I guess, with this guy because he sent us a drink and somehow I need to repay the favor that I didn't ask for. And I told that story to people in the moment, like in the time frame, and they all thought I was insane, that this is like what my mom was telling me to do. And at the time though, I was like, no, she just wants to be polite. But now looking back as a more grown adult, I'm like, no, that was not okay. I felt like I had no choice because it was my mom telling me to do something. And even at 20, I still felt totally in control of what she, if I wanted her to like me, I wanted her to love me. So it's just stuff like this that it's like, it's not always great for men to be approaching you, and it's not always safe, and it's not always like, oh, wow, what a great experience. It could be perceived as like creepy, especially when you're young. It's like you don't want to be talking to these men, but you feel pressure by your mom. Like, this is an amazing thing to happen to you. It's not, most likely. Anyways, and then she just says, and so it begins. Okay. Thank you for listening to my story. I promise I'll try to preempt any that go too far, but these are all true things that I've gone through and I'm working through, and my therapist thinks I need to get more angry about. So here I am trying to be more upfront and honest about my own stuff. Okay. And then here's another one. This is just sort of praising the teens for working out. Heidi says that she never will ever, she doesn't care if her kids work out or not, even though she says if you don't have a sport, then you have to have a job, which is sort of a rule, even though she says she has no rules for her kids with working out. And she loves like that her daughter is trying to work out, even though it's late at night. according to her. She's like, oh, you're getting extra brownie points because you want a booty band, which is something that Heidi uses in her workouts. So just kind of a weird thing to put onto your kid. And it says, M with the 937 booty band request. And just the egregious part of this video is that she's in the midst of a workout. She's doing like squats. She's doing like different workout things. And her mom is recording her and putting it on the internet. That's the big problem.
You know I have a booty band?
And M, with the unexpected follow-through from out of nowhere, M scored major points with that.
You know I have a booty band.
I gotta use the candle.
Yes! Doing what you can with what you got. Was Maddox bringing a booty band in? That's a booty band! That's a booty. Do you need one too?
Go! I'm trying.
Okay, now this is more oversharing where she's going to share fighting between the kids. She loves to do this. She has a vlog too from when she was divorcing Chris for the only time, around that time frame. She came out with the vlog and like her kids are screaming, they're yelling, they're fighting with each other. She's recording it all and just like letting it be out there. It doesn't make her kids look good. And it doesn't like make her look good either, but she likes to just make people look bad, I think, for some reason. Like her kids are yelling at each other. Why does everyone need to know about it?
Oh, I'm trying to work out.
I'm going to show you how to do it better.
No, I don't want to know how to do better.
The squats are looking in the wall. Do a squat.
Max, go away.
And like, oh, best frenemies. And of course she brings up R. She has to bring her up no matter what situation it is. I'm just eating her burrito. Like, I don't know. It's very odd to me. And then, okay, another one saying like, you also grew up and hurt my feelings by growing up. She didn't listen to me when I told her to stay small. Again, I know it's a joke. I know she doesn't mean it seriously, but when you're young, those repeated messages over and over again, they can weigh on your brain. It says, the beauty of this one right here, how can you not cry looking at her? So much good in one human. And then the next slide, okay, that was like a fairly nice post. Do you want to buy her dress? Do you want to purchase the shoes that she's wearing? She is now just a conduit to getting Heidi a kickback, most likely, in a affiliate marketing sense. I could be wrong. Maybe she's just sharing for the engagement, just for the nicety of it. But to me, it devalues the post in general, because it's like, oh, the point of this post is to show my kid modeling clothes for free, essentially. Why? Thank you. Okay. I have to check. I know you sent something because you're already a member, so I have to see what it says. There's some sort of, just by the way, if you're already a member and you send a message through the super chat, it may show up as that you're a member. There's some sort of issue with the pop-up. So, where's my phone? I have to check the chat to see if you actually sent a different message. Okay. And it says, so for wanting the dress, unfortunately, I don't see the dress. It's $30, whatever. And then you can also buy the shoes. There you go. They're a little pricier, but they are high quality, and we both plan to share, or at least I plan to share. Okay, so they're not the daughter's shoes, they're their shoes. They're sharing the shoes because that's what mom says. Okay, and now let's look at the boy, M. And can I get into the chat? I think I can. Let's see, before I continue, let's see what you guys are saying. Okay, so Allison says, she's going to suggest implants for her soon and see nothing wrong with it. The jealousy of Heidi. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. And do whatever you want to do. I just think that there's a lot of unsaid things, and this is something I talk about with my therapist a lot. The overt, you are fat. Doesn't happen that much. Didn't happen that much in my life. A couple times here and there, my mom would say, you've gained weight, or you look bad or whatever. Yes, it happened a few times, but it was more subtle. And I think that's something we don't talk about as much when we talk about like these sorts of situations where the subtlety of repeated a message, like praising you for doing a squat and like going, oh, yay, you get brownie points. You're working out. Good. As much as that might be a good thing, it tells the message or it repeats the message. I praise you when you are losing weight or when you are thin. I mean, that might be the message. Or, you know, oh, you look so beautiful. You look so beautiful. That's the thing you're complimented on. Yes, it's nice to be called beautiful. But if that's the only thing that your parents are talking about, or your mom's talking about, you're going to internalize that. It's like my only thing that I offer or that is seen in others is beauty. And I need to make sure that that's perfect at all times. And my youth, oh my God, my mom says I'm too old all the time. And I've like lost my babiness. Like I got to maintain that youth. It's like, that's a whole, and then you try to tell someone like, well, they said you're pretty, so why are you complaining? And then you don't get any sympathy from anybody because they don't understand it. And so it's a very nuanced thing that I find to be something I'm dealing with now, and I'm glad, but I wish that I had somewhere to go for like more assurance back in the day. All right, anyways, so thank you for Allison for that. And for that I say,
they truly have it all.
They truly have it all. Okay, so this is about the oldest son, M. Now, she sort of paints him, I believe, as a troublemaker, as someone who wastes money on frivolous things, but someone she, you know, understands that they're just a rebellious teenager. This is how all teenagers are. That's the vibe that I get when she refers to him. And she acts dumb, I think. She plays the role of dumb in the sense of, like, it's obvious that he is like making a joke or doing something sort of like naughty, as they might say, you know, like, oh, or bad, you know, you did something bad. You said something bad, but she'll post it to show other people that her son was a bad kid in the sense of like, he told me it was this, but it's actually, I know better. I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but in this specific post, she's like, I don't know, like they're telling me it's a rocket ship, but it doesn't look like one to me. She knows what the kid's doing. She's deciding to put his behavior to public consumption. That's the part where I'm like, why? Oops. And so it says, the same rocket ship my boys were drawing in the sand last week are now appearing on the windows everywhere. Dave just chimes in, it would be great if you could find a rocket emoji that has short curlies like your son's rockets do. Hashtag suspect. They told me it was fire. Inappropriate to me. I don't know. Just like, why are we crossing these lines and then posting it to everybody? I don't know. Here is Heidi posting Dave's kid, Rachel and Dave's kid as well. So he's blocked as well. But I don't know what she's referencing, but she says M was likely the culprit of something. And he clearly didn't go to bed within 4 hours after I dropped them off. So sort of, again, troublemaker. I'm making the narrative that he's, you know, sort of doesn't listen to the rules. For what reason? I don't know. But she'll use him for, you know, her content and making things on her blog. She feels fine to, you know, show him there. But again, like, this is something like, if this wasn't her son, this looks like a couple. Like, this should be her boyfriend. This should be her husband. The way they're holding hands, the way they're, you know, joking around. I think it could be misconstrued as like, oh, that's her boyfriend. And that's what she said, that, oh, people at the skating rink think we're dating. Like, maybe that's on you a little bit. Maybe there's something you can do to prevent that from being thought of. Maybe not. Like, again, maybe I'm being too harsh, but to me it seems a little romantic-ish. This is just something random that her and Dave were texting each other, and she said, can you get me a cake for him? Which, again, like, this is your kid. Why won't you just get things for them? But whatever. So she's going to include Dave in it. And she's texting him because she's in this class to get her points taken off her license or something. I don't know. Something about like getting a parking ticket or getting a speeding ticket or something. And so she said she was texting from behind in the classroom, and she's, texting from her bag or whatever. So it's coming off all autocorrect. And it says, happy 17th bird bath, Maddox. So Dave, being a jerk, I guess, goes and puts that on the cake, happy 17th bird bath, as opposed to birthday, to be funny, I guess. But again, just seems like you would want, as a 17-year-old boy or girl or anything, as a child, your mom or your dad or whoever is in charge of your birthday to put your cake, like, why isn't she doing this? Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, okay, the joke is funny. Okay, mom messed it up and said bird bath, but it's not a joke between her and her son. It's a joke between her and her boyfriend. So why are you actually going and putting this on the cake? It just seems like they don't matter. The kids are pawns in this game that they have going on, and it's really about what they think is funny and what they think is good and what they can make money from. It doesn't matter how their children's feelings feel. That's what I take from it. Yeah, and he actually went through with it. Okay, then she says, M, you're such a stud, and then tags him. I blocked that too. Tags him on Instagram. So if you wanted to like follow him wanted to follow this 17-year-old stud, then you could, I guess. So with 500,000 people, you're sharing your child's private Instagram and calling him a stud. And here's Dave's kid. They're around the same age. It says, the pictures and vids they sent from the mall, though, these two, different parents, somehow the same human, life of every party. Yes, of course, M wasted his money on that blue pillow today. And apparently the pillow brand is like, a vape company or something. So posting this to everybody to show my kids likes vape products for some reason. That's something she wants people to know. And also to include Dave's son in the mix with that as well. So that's nice. And then she's going to use this opportunity to talk about how she don't need no man. She don't need no man.
Fantastic parenting.
So it's not about him going to a dance. It's not because he looks, handsome and he's going to celebrate with his friends in high school. No, it's about her putting on the tie correctly because she's going to woman through it and she don't need no man. And that's what the point of this post is. Yes. Yeah, this doesn't look right. Shoot, miss. This makes me smile, though. I'm glad there wasn't a man in sight today. Forced me to woman up. M is so annoyed. I'm so annoyed he's annoyed. And I'm also stressed that there is no man around to tie the damn tie. Okay, I'm confused. Which one is it? You don't want him? You don't want a man there, or you do want a man there? I'm confused. But really, who actually needs a man anymore with YouTube tutorials? Because I'm doing it, baby. Okay. Just, again, making it like all about her and her experience, not his experience. And then this is a picture with his shirt off that she decided to post. It was a video of him walking. This is around the time when something happened around Christmas time with Heidi and Dave. Dave was getting pulled over by the cops. Then he was sleeping on New Year's, and then all of a sudden he was in rehab like a couple weeks later. So I don't know what went on. Still no one knows really what happened, like what event took place, if any. But this is around the time. And it says, well, hello, sunshine. Nice to see you so sprightly at noon. P.S. The video was M approved to post because he thinks it's funny too, although it wasn't funny at the time. And I only took a screenshot, but he's like walking with no shirt on and he's like exhausted walking somewhere. So it was approved by him. She's making sure we know that it's fine. He approved it because, I'm sure he has a choice. Roll my eyes. Okay. Now this is the part where I think it's shows that the kids are aware, are self-aware, confirms that they're on social media, at least the two older ones. And she's not only approving of them being involved and defending her, Heidi, defending her honor, That's a role for her children to do. She's talking about, the details. I don't know. We'll just go through it. Basically, she's saying like, my kids defend me and that's a good thing, which I think you should be defending and protecting your children, not the other way around. And if the kids got involved somehow, I think the conversation, if I was a parent, should be, let's get you off of here. Let's protect you. Let's get you a private account with a pseudo name that no one will find. Let's separate these so that you don't have to be involved in any of this, because it's unfair for you to be involved. But apparently that's not Heidi's take. Her take is, this is great. I love when my children are writing on social media in defense of me. Okay, so this is back Christmas time, the first Christmas. I think they've only spent one Christmas together, Dave and Heidi, I believe, unless I'm conflating 2 years, which I still feel like we're in 2020. I know that's like a common thing, but yeah, I'm still like 2023. Like, what? This doesn't feel real. So I don't remember, but this is one of the Christmas times. And it says, can we talk about something for a minute? M and M. So she tags both of them. I heart you guys, and the way you stood up against the internet bullies without even telling me you knew. Dave and I got a mini attack. Okay. So, this just says, I think this whole topic deserves a podcast, because man, people don't stop to think before they attack. They really don't. What they don't realize most, or maybe what they lack respect to realize, is that the kids of those they wrongly accuse/attack read what they ridiculously post. Okay, whose fault is that, Heidi? Whose fault is that? Yours. You have the power to protect them from this stuff. You are putting them out there so much and so often and so deeply and so intimately, at all, like I said, in bed, for God's sakes. That is your fault. You cannot blame the world for that issue that you're allowing them to be involved in. I'm sorry. Like, the world is a scary place, but you need to act as if like you understand that. I don't have sympathy for that, honestly, because it's like, what, you're the parents. Dave is a parent as well, like, of his own children. You guys are the ones who need to figure out a way to not put them in harm's way. Alice in Wonderland 66, thank you. I appreciate all your super chats. I really do. She says, yes, that's the takeaway. They are supposed to be protectors, not the opposite. The kids are not content, internet bullies because of them. Yeah. This is Dave.
I am all about getting a free ride.
He's like, I don't even want to protect myself. I want Heidi's children to have to do it for me. It's just like,
fantastic parenting.
It's not good. I don't like it at all. And, I was okay with playing pretend, like, oh, the kids don't see it. But her confirming that they see everything and then her still choosing to put this stuff out is so much worse.
I was the one that needed to get a life.
So I agree with you, Allison. Thank you. Okay. And then, here's them talking about the bullies on the internet that, honestly, probably a lot of them, I would imagine, probably are concerned for the kids. Like, hey, Heidi, I know you're self-obsessed and absorbed with your own image and, body and relationships that you're having and promoting on social media. But have you thought about your children? I mean, that would be considered a hate comment in her world. And I think the sentiment of that is spot on. Have you thought about your kids when you're thinking about posting them topless, walking around in their own home? I mean, I know people can cross the line. I'm not saying people don't cross the line. And I don't suggest anyone going to their page and telling them, a piece of your mind necessarily. Like, I think, being able to discuss it in these types of environments is the line that I'm willing to go to, and telling them what I think is not really going to be helpful because they're not going to hear it or listen to it. But I don't think that, automatically because people are mean to them on the internet, that they get a free pass to just do whatever they want and say whatever they want. I don't think that's fair. So it says, meanness blows my mind. I can't be mean to someone that is mean to me. Okay. let alone be mean to someone I don't know who is trying her damnedest after 2 divorces she sure as heck isn't proud of. I love that my kids would never be mean either, and I love that those who know us know this truth. Well, why don't you keep it within that then? Why do you keep posting to everybody? I also love that M wasn't even mad at the mean post, just mind blown and annoyed that people would assume they hate having their divorced parents get along. Okay, then she's going to further exploit this to post screenshots of exactly what she's talking about in case you were unfamiliar with what's going on here. Because it's definitely public. It's definitely a public discussion at this point. We should definitely involve 500,000 people in this conversation about, divorce and how they feel about it. Even though that's been done as well, where they're like have a camera shoved in their face as they're packing to leave their home because their parents got divorced. How do you feel? Are you sad? Are you sad? That is something that Heidi did to her kids, and it's embarrassing. And I would be very upset if I was her child for doing that. Anyways, posts have been since deleted by the postmakers, hopefully because M's kind and classy response made them realize they can do better. Don't worry, I'm blocking out names unless they were kind. So if you're kind, your name does not get blocked. Because truthful, we can all do better, myself included. They are not alone. M, thanks for being who you are and for standing up for yourself, your mama, and your family when you sure didn't need to. I'm so proud. I don't think that behavior is necessarily like such a good thing to promote either. Like, oh, I'm going to just praise you for standing up for me on the internet. Like, ooh. Okay, so basically I think the photo that they used was like the 2 ex-husbands and Dave, I believe, perhaps, because the person who was mean said, I don't know, I'll probably get crap from you all, but there's something a little weird about this photo. Heidi and her 3 men, just saying. And then someone said, ditto. And then someone said, yeah, really, no need to include a boyfriend of less than 2 years in a family photo. Very rough on the kids. Even Heidi herself says little C has had trouble adjusting to this. Okay, I don't think any of those comments are like bullying. I don't think any of those comments are like, you should go, hurt yourself, you idiot, ugly, fat piece of crap. That's not the vibe I'm getting. It's people, giving their opinion on something in a fairly respectful way. Now, does that need to be said at that place? No, not necessarily. But is it bullying? No, I don't think it is. When you open up your comments and you post something, you're going to get positive and negative feedback. There's a line in which it becomes abusive. I don't think this crosses the line. And then I guess this is Heidi says, hi there. I wasn't referring to having kids' dads together when I said C was struggling last night. C was struggling because he wanted a home with all of his parents. He wished divorces never happened. Divorce never needed to happen. So do we, but it did happen. And all 3 of us are living our lives to help these kids feel loved. Yeah, put him out there again. Tell everyone what his innermost feelings are. Thanks, Heidi. Even with our own personal battles, we know only without ego or grudges can this happen. So to be clear, having Chris and Derek be the incredible men they are by showing up to holiday parties that we throw when they don't need to is actually the most beautiful gesture of love to a child who is hurting from divorce. If you know, you know. Then comes M, again, a teenager who doesn't need to say anything. Okay, and then someone who's nice, okay, says, LOL, something is wrong with your comment. No need to include the boyfriend. What about the ex-husbands? I think it's awesome she is able to get a photo with all of them. It shows maturity on all of their parts. Most people would never include their exes in their photo with their boyfriend. So good for all of them. And then she says, that's an opinion. That's not a positive fact, okay? That is an opinion that person had that thinks it's great. Wonderful. People are also going to have the alternative opinion and think, no, that's not so great. It's probably confusing for the kids. And if you break up in a year, now you have this weird year of photos where you have this random guy who is like around your mom. Like, that is sort of weird. I have that. Like, it didn't last. Okay, now we have all these pictures together of like Like, hey, random guy in the house. Like, that's why it's very important, I think, to, before you introduce the kids to this person, like, take your time would be my advice. I don't know. I don't have kids. And then so M says, we love Dave and wanted our dads to be there for Christmas. There's nothing weird about taking a picture with our family, not rough on us all at all. I find this suspicious completely. Not that she wrote it, but that this is not a concerted effort told by Heidi, hey, post this, M, because look at the screenshot. It's 1 minute. That's very hard if you're not looking for it to capture a screenshot that quickly. So I think, no, of course, I could be proven wrong, but I think that she was like, hey, M, you know what would be really good for you to do? Would be go and like comment what you think about the situation, and I'll screenshot it and then I'll talk about it on my stories. Because how did she know? Within 30 seconds, she got a tag, she looked it, opened it, got it, understood it, screenshotted it. Little suspect to me, little suscon for me. Okay, and then she wrote on it 4 minutes after that, oh, M, I love you. And then, okay, and then said, so proud of you, M and M, so grateful for your ability to create the humor in hard things, truly a gift. Your hearts, both of yours, are the greatest. And again, exposing them both to being what their Instagram accounts are. And then another person. To the hundreds of you who stood behind M and my family after and poured comments and love through this string and DMs, thank you. Your encouragement for M speaking her truth in what can feel like a sea of sharks is what every mom hopes for. Thank you. So why are you putting your daughter in a sea of sharks? Just why? Why? What is the gain? Financial. Okay, got it. Money, children. That is the priority, in my opinion, for Heidi. Money first, children's well-being second. That's a mean statement, but based on this, again, it's none of anyone's business what they do in their house. Why are we having this debate publicly? Okay, so that was the older teens. They're involved, they're reading things, they're seeing people's comments. Okay, confirmed. Now, this is the younger R. She also apparently is involved in the internet drama, and Heidi's going to make sure that everyone knows about it. So this is back in California. It says, final boardwalk conversation with R about one of my internet bullies. She remembers someone being mean to her mom. I don't. I have the worst memory, and I love it. Okay, again, I think this is bullshit.
Bad things. Like, nobody cares.
Someone on Insta was texting me bad things?
What? I don't even remember.
Remember we were at the house.
You know what, Rubes?
So she's like, I don't even remember what you're talking about. And R was saying, you were talking about it at the house. And the text says, actually, this is what I tell them about people being mean to me. No energy there, not worth it. And it magically disappears from my mind. Okay, first of all, you're posting about it now in real time. You're taking the time walking with your daughter on the beach to post to Instagram about internet bullies. So I'm not buying that you don't think about it, because you are thinking about it right now as you post this. And then secondly, the fact that the daughter knows and was like, you were talking about it earlier, shows that you're discussing internet bullies in the house. So it's not a separate issue. It's not that it slipped my mind. How would she know about it if you're not discussing it with her? Does she have her own Instagram and she can perceive what is an internet bully? Come on. Yeah, right. I think, again, she said, hey, bring this up in a video so I can record you and make you look really good on the internet for me, for mommy.
I actually focus so little on the bad things people say. I don't remember.
Yeah, sure. It says, welcome to my naive world. All of the glasses here are rose-colored, and there's an obscene amount of positivity and laughter at even the hard things. There might be haters, but in John Cena fashion, can't see me. Or at least I can't see them. Oh, hello, Dana Lynn. I guess that's somebody she knows.
I don't remember what somebody said mean to me on Insta. Ruby remembers. Rubes, what'd they say?
Why would she need to now say what they said about you? How is this conducive to any sort of positive behavior? Putting your kid on the spot and going, what did my internet bully say about me?
They're like, nobody cares. Like, and then, like, we have to send them a little video.
So I don't know exactly. It cuts off, but she said, the internet bully said nobody cares. And then we had to send them an internet video. So I wondered because sometimes Heidi will respond to people who've like DM'd her, I've heard through the years. People have said like, I said something and then she wrote back. So I wonder if somebody wrote her something and then Heidi sent a video to explain herself, like recorded something, perhaps. I don't know. That's just my guess. But that is the videos that I have compiled through basically 2 years of, you know, casually watching. And anytime I saw something pop up that I thought was like sort of in line with the pattern that I had sort of saw emerge over time, I would record it and then put it into a file. And then finally, I put my files in order and sort of created this montage of things. So yeah, that's probably the last video I'm going to do about Heidi Powell for a while, unless something happens, because she has chosen to block me on. She's got some sort of app or something that's blocking people. Sorry. She must have some sort of app or has hired someone to block a bunch of people because I've never wrote to Heidi ever. I've never commented on anything. I've never shared anything from her. I've never interacted with her ever, not one time. With Dave, I interacted with him once. I DM'd him and he blocked me because I said, he posted a picture of Noah, his daughter. And it was a poll and it said, which meme should I make this picture of her become? And it was like her falling over or something stupid. And I said, why don't you just go spend time with her? And that got me blocked. So that I understand. Like, okay, I said something he didn't like, he blocked me. Heidi, I never, ever have interacted with her account. I'm sure she's aware of these videos perhaps by now. I don't know for sure. I always think it could be possible they see the videos, but I also think they might be actively avoiding them. So who knows? But I've never pushed anything in her face. I never contacted her ever. So the fact that I got blocked and a bunch of other people who say they have never interacted with her got blocked, she's got some sort of, I don't know, device, something to make that, like to single out people who are watching her stories and aren't interacting. I don't know. I'm not sure. But because she's taking that step to do that, I'm going to respect her and back off. And, you know, hopefully she cleans up her act and goes private and whatever. But we'll see. Anyways, yeah, Taro's like, this is over. I do want to talk a little bit about her on, let me switch accounts. Not only and we don't have to watch the whole thing, I did a full video about it. There's a video that I did where Heidi talks to F, who is Dave's son, and at the time he was 10, but she felt totally fine to go and be on a video with him and ask him pretty specific, vulnerable questions, I think, about his parents' divorce. I think that was not okay. It seems like has slowed down quite a bit since they sort of, whatever happened during that Christmas, New Year's Eve time frame, it sort of made Heidi much less around the children. I don't know what happened, if it's just coincidence, who knows, but I also found that to be sort of unfair. And here's also, I'll block myself, oops. This is the one I was talking about. This is the three women together, or one girl and two women, talking about anti-aging. So, you know, I'm sure it's going to be drinking a lot of water and sleep, getting good sleep. But it's like, why have your teen daughter be in a conversation about anti-aging? She's like 14 in this video.
Guys, we are here today to give you our number one.
Like, she's not at the age where she should be, she should be talking about aging.
Absolute queen of anti-aging. She is like the fountain of youth. I think like if there's a fountain of youth, it's her. Marley, you got 9 months of half of the fountain of youth. I had to bring in my mom.
So anyways, so that's that. I don't love that either. And then on Dave's page, now Dave does not get a free pass here. Dave uses his kids quite a bit in all of his content, as we saw, like,
All right, so
his book literally is him and his daughter. He would have no book, children's book, without his daughter being a part of it and part of the marketing plan and part of the sales strategy. He's got his kids in his header. Okay. So he's like he's basically like the leader of a kids channel, essentially. He's done a little bit more organizing, but I mean, it's a lot of children's content, even down here, Dad Ventures. Like, he's tried to rebrand several times to be like a children-friendly guy. That's all the way at the bottom. That's from post or pre-divorce. But this one bothered me a lot. This one of F with her talking about the divorce. Like, again, these private conversations should not be broadcast to people. And this is Dave's most highly watched video on his YouTube channel. So him putting his kids, consenting for his kids to be in footage and do stuff like this, I don't like either. Like, okay,
But also, don't you think that sometimes the best friends that we find in life come when we're in the middle of the hardest times of our life, because they help support us through it?
Yeah, well...
He's a child, Heidi. He's a child. Thanks, Carly. He's a child. He doesn't know how making friends through the hardest things in life. He's a child. I don't know. Anyways. One thing I found interesting, this is just sort of a side note. Dave had like a whole website dedicated to this book, Here's to Your Dreams. And now it looks like he's gone to use a different website that's much less polished. And I'm confused as to why. Hopefully it's the only one as well. But he had a website that was like much more like put together and I thought much more, I don't know, like interactive. I don't know why he switched, or if I just can't find it anymore. But yeah, it's for ages 4 to 8. You can get an activity guide, which just becomes a PDF of like, cutouts. And the whole premise of this book, which I like to point out every time, is this is for people who want like life self-help or like self-help and personal development before he's going to break down these complicated, complex topics that he does for his daughter, and then explain it to her. And in actual practice, he just yells at her like, do you know what your dreams are? Do you have dreams?
I love you.
Kitty. That was actually perfect timing. Stop it. And it's not actually helpful at all, but he's tried to market it as this amazing ritual that him and his daughter do every week, and they have
not your poop again. $18 stinking dollars.
Stop. We'll put you on Dave Ramsey in case there's more blank spaces. Okay, you can go back. And I don't know. Basically, the concept is horrible. The views on it are bad. He makes it seem like this book came out of like the necessity because people were obsessed with Tea Time with Noah, this super uber successful project that my daughter and I, just happened to put online. But in reality, okay, he's done 18 stinking videos. If you can believe it. Hey, Kitty, you can push a button now.
18 stinking dollars.
18 stinking videos with his daughter, who, again, has no choice. 2 are hidden for some reason. Wonder what that is. And, you know, okay, facing your fears. Don't compare yourself with other people. How to live life to the fullest. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Okay, so basic ass things that you probably would learn in any of these self-help guru courses that, you know, a numbskull couldn't figure out by just literally existing on Earth. You could figure out what they're going to teach you. And I find that to be true. And I'm not saying that to embarrass you if you like self-help or liked self-help. It's just when you actually look at it, you take a very critical eye to these things, you see it's like the same shit repeated over and over and over again. And like you learned it in kindergarten. It's like if someone's being mean to you, you know, turn the other cheek and don't be mean. Or if you want to succeed, you got to put your mind to it. It's like, yeah, I learned that in the 1st grade. So anyways, just as an example.
Noah,
Yeah. I gotta give it.
Jeffrey's outside.
Oh, Jeff, come here.
Do you want to go let Jeff in?
No.
Go ahead, let him in. Maybe he wants to have tea time with us.
No.
The thing that bothers me about this whole thing is that they don't actually have tea because he's too lazy, presumably, or doesn't know how to make a tea kettle, doesn't want to take the time. So he just pops a LaCroix open and that's what it is. There's actually no tea. It's just a can of soda that I don't know, she's probably too young to even drink. And he's created a book about that. So I only say that and I make fun of it to show this guy's got nothing else going on. If this is the best thing that he can come up with as a former Disney executive, former startup, you know, CEO, AKA his, you know, Rachel's company, Hollis company that he's was the CEO for like 3 months of. The videos weren't even well viewed. So the one that we just watched was 2.5 thousand views. Okay, that's extremely low for someone.
You ready for tea time?
For someone with that many.
All right, so I'm
not subs, but that many Instagram. He's got like 400,000 Instagram followers, and you can't get, you know, your videos viewed. I'll show it the most popular was the one with Heidi. Sherry Baskin, thank you. Welcome. 12,000 views, 9,000 views, and it's all using his kids, essentially. So he's become a children's channel, I guess. I don't know. And, you know, he uses his kids a lot in the sense of he shows them like interacting at the house. He's showing their baseball games. It makes him look like a good guy. He uses the kids to make himself look like a good dad. Therefore, you should buy my children's book. You should buy my book where I discuss parenting. I think that is using the kids, in my opinion. He's gotten better since him and Heidi sort of slowed down and they were just friends for a while. Rachel has also gotten better over time. She used to put her kids in vlogs. She used to put her kids online a lot. She did post a picture of her daughter, N, with no top on and defended it. She allegedly took it down because people are gross. But, you know, she also said on a podcast she made a conscious effort to take her kids off of social media 2 years ago, which is a lie. So they're all sort of teetering. Heidi's over the line of teetering. Dave and Rachel teeter on the line of oversharing, sharing intimate things. Pancake Gate was a great example of that, showing F and N interacting with him on the patio of peace and him insulting them as the morning went on. I think Rachel is better. Like I said, she's better. She still posts them. So she's lying about how, you know, that she doesn't post anymore. But I would also say she uses her children's stories a lot. Like she made a full episode about her son coming out as gay, and she made that about her. And, you know, at least she came out in support of him. I think that's a good thing. But you could also argue that it's his story to tell, and her making it into content to sell is using him to make money. And speaking of that, let's move on to Farah Abraham. I want to show her a little bit and show the situation with her daughter. Now, I will say, I didn't do any blocking, so I'm going to have to do that on the fly. But basically, it seems like Farah, if you don't know her background, I actually have a personal story with Farah, not myself necessarily, but an overlapping story. She lived in Florida for a little bit, and it's actually part of Teen Mom, where she lived in Florida. And one day I was at the pool. I was visiting my mom, who lived in this apartment building when I was in college. And I was home for Christmas or summer or something. And I was at the pool, and all these like TV crews came out. And I was like, what the heck's going on? These video crews came out and like had certain people sign like forms and stuff. But I was like kind of tucked away on the pool deck. And lo and behold, so Farah and her daughter Sophia, we'll call S from now forward, S comes out. She's like a baby, like new, like basically a year or two old. And because I was just in college, so she would have been like 19. The baby was like 3 years old. And they're shooting an episode of Teen Mom in the place that I'm at. That's a show that I watched since I was 16. And it was pretty crazy. I wasn't in the episode, but I saw them shooting a scene there of them playing in the pool. So just sort of a weird connection. Anyways, so she was a teen mom, and she got famous basically, or she was selected, I believe, because her baby's father, they were both in high school, passed away before S was even born. And that made it a compelling story. So it was sort of her navigating being a single mom, not by choice. She was a cheerleader, had to like leave her cheerleading. Her mom and her fought a ton. There was a stepdad, I believe, I don't know if that was like her actual dad, but she called him by his first name. And there you go. And she got followed for years and years and years. She ended up going to cooking school. That's why she was in Florida, I believe. And then she sort of took a turn and then decided to go down like the adult entertainment route, and was doing like videos that were like leaked videos, like Kim Kardashian sort of style. And then sort of started kind of promoting like strip clubs and that sort of thing.
I'm probably going to misquote it. I'm a big time hippie, and I'm very woo-woo.
Okay. Sorry, that's Taro then. Taro, come on. What are you doing? And so then as her daughter grew up, then she started including, she's included her from the beginning. Like there's literal footage on MTV of like the birth happening. But then she started to make her daughter like an influencer over time. And as you'll see on her page, it's not always age appropriate. Like, she's in the adult film industry, and then the next post will be her and her daughter. It's just a little bit confusing if you're seeing this for the first time. And her daughter, I don't believe, has ever gone to like real school. She's done like homeschooling and things, so that they can do this influencing work. But now that she's, I believe she's only 13, but now that she's 13, she's able to have her own account. And then now there's a paid element. You can subscribe to get like insider information about this 13-year-old. And I just find that to be flawed from the beginning. And apparently she's also a New York Times best-selling author, of course. Okay, so let's listen to this real quick. She does an interview with Howie Mandel, who apparently has a podcast now. I guess everyone has a podcast. Well, I guess that's a different one. Let's see. Well, she posts a lot of her daughter. Let's just say that. She posts a lot of her daughter, and then now she's going to promote her, her own influencing. Now, the thing that people were concerned about, I guess, is that she let her daughter get a septum piercing. And her daughter, like I said, is like 12 at the time. But let's just, I don't know how to like not do that. Okay. Okay, bye. Love you. See ya. Okay, bye. She'll be back, maybe. Okay, whatever. We're just going to show it. So, born on MTV, accurate. Add me on TikTok. Okay, she got a TikTok. Teen Queen, Impact Activate, account managed by her mom. Try my face filters. Okay, don't love that. And then subscribe. Okay, this is what you're going to get if you want to pay. Subscribe, chat only. So you can chat with her privately, which I find problematic. And she's going to do daily vlogs at 13 years old. So you got to subscribe to pay for that. I don't love that. And here's... says, look forward to connecting with you better. Subscribe to help me see your messages and let me know all the fun stuff I should share on private. Subscribe. Happy to have a more positive subscribe area to keep Instagram negativity out. I just find that to be a more of a private way for people to try to talk to you and exploit you as a child. That's my take on it. Like any of these private apps that have gone on in my youth and in the youth that has followed has been, I don't know, in my opinion, not good. That's where the grooming happens. That's where people, you know, that you're too young to understand how a person that's much older than you can take advantage of you or manipulate you without you even knowing it. So the more, I know she said the account is like, you know, not run by her, but still, I think you're opening up a can of worms to a bad situation potentially happening. Okay, this is on the Howie Mandel podcast. And it says, Howie trying my mom, like, watch the full episode. Okay, this is just a clip.
We let her get her belly button pierced. Would you so let me ask you right now, would you, if she wanted her tongue pierced right now, would you let her?
I don't think that's
I don't want my tongue pierced.
She doesn't want her tongue pierced.
I'm just
Thank you,
saying.
Thank you, Sophia.
Why couldn't you be like Sophia?
Okay. Well, that's interesting. You know, at this point, she knows nothing else but being an influencer. Like I said, she hasn't gone to school. Her mom is her only parent because her mom has never, you know, I don't think has ever had a serious relationship with anyone else. To have like two parents. Mom hasn't been married again or ever, I don't believe. So it is her mom. And her mom has this career where it's influencing and also adult performing. Fine. But it's how can it not bleed into now your career? And being so young, I fear for people like her, and I fear for her, and I fear that people look at this and go, wow, she's living the dream here. She gets to travel and like, you know, wear these cool clothes, and she gets to get her belly button pierced so young, and she gets her nose pierced, and she's just like a very cool, like mature kid. But we forget that she's still a child. And I don't know what the rules are about like how old you're supposed to be on TikTok and on Instagram, but how are you allowed to have a 13-year-old girl accept payment as herself? How is that not a rule? Like, you know, like who's to say she's going to know what the rules are to post and what's appropriate and what's not? I don't understand what's going on here. And I don't think she has much of a choice. Cause like I said, what's she going to do? Tell her mom, I don't want this lifestyle. Like this is what it is. And like,
avocado oil for these. Like, I can't have regular tortillas slapping me in the face. It's so good to have Sophia back home. Let's rock, paper, scissors, and let me slap you with tortilla.
You need to fill your mouth up with water.
I just drink it.
Talk a lot.
So it's just another way, it seems like, for Farah to have, exposure on 2 different platforms now. If your exposure wasn't enough on her own platform, now she's got okay, here, wait, oh. Is this where she gets the nose piercing?
Yes. Yeah, my dad's like loves it.
Oh. Why is it so blurry?
It's a filter.
Why is it such a blurry filter?
It's a privacy screen.
Why is there such a blurry filter?
Sophia wants privacy.
It's no filter. It's just I'm blurry. I'm feeling blurry today.
Yeah, same.
Am I supposed to be saying anything? It's recording. Oh, I got it.
The goods.
You good?
Yeah. So it's good.
You dress cool, Sophia.
Yes. Yeah, my dad's like loves it.
She wants privacy. So we're going to put her on her own channel. I don't know. There's obviously much, much more to talk about with all this stuff. I want to watch this one clip from a news article or a news report. It's about the psychological effects of being a kid influencer. I think we should watch the full thing on a later date, but I wanted to see feel the temperature of everyone on this topic. But I think it's a good way to wrap this conversation up, at least in this small context. There's so much more. There's mommy vloggers, there's family vlog channels, there's kids who are required to post and have brand deals at 4 years old, and the rules between working in Hollywood as a child actress and working at home for your parents, and the difference in law and how insane it is. It's the wild, wild west right now in kidfluencing. And there's a lot that I think the government needs to step in and handle. At the very least, the platforms for YouTube, Instagram, all of those tech giants, before the government comes in and regulates they could also do a lot more by protecting these children, and they're choosing not to for profit, in my opinion. So I think this is an interesting documentary. This is just a part of the whole clip, or of the whole segment, but they talk to a psychologist or psychiatrist about some of the effects, and I thought it was interesting. So let's just watch it. And
Popularity of so-called kid influencers is raising questions about the potential impact of sharing children's lives online. These social media stars promote products on Instagram and make millions posting short video blogs known as vlogs. A recent study found about 1 in 3 American kids between the ages of 8 and 12 aspire to be either a vlogger or a YouTuber.
Forbes reports the highest paid YouTube star last year was 7-year-old Ryan, who earned $22 million in just 12 months, people. He hosts a...
Yeah, $22 million. And his parents are obviously the ones doing it all. Like, that is an enticing thing for parents. And now parents, you don't become a parent and become like a perfect angel immediately. Like, that amount of money, the potential to make that amount of money is going to entice people of all walks of life to attempt it. And the problem is, and the same thing with going to Hollywood. The thing is, you can be talented as an actor or a musician, but you can only push your kids so far. They have to have some sort of ability, to be picked up and put into a Hollywood movie. You have to audition, you have to get in, you have to make, whatever. Okay. But you can force your kids, like we've just witnessed, to be a part of content, to be pushed in a way that now I'm making YouTube videos. I control it. I'm mom, I'm dad. I'm going to put my kid out there, and it's going to monetize for me depending on the platform. And now I could make $22 million. That's not going to turn people off. There's no disincentive. I don't know what the opposite of incentive is. There's nothing pushing people away from doing that. And that's sort of the concerning thing. Like, there's no downside. We might as well try. Why not? We could be $22 million richer. Let's do it. Get on camera, kid.
Popular toy review channel on the site. The latest CBSN original, Kid Influencers, Few Rules, Big Money, looks inside the estimated $4.6 billion influencer business. It includes interviews with families of these young influencers.
It's a lot of work. It's a full-time job, but it's not really a job because they're having fun.
Yes, it is a job. It is a job for your child to go to a photo shoot. They may be having fun. this is still work. And the fact that you think that it's not is a problem. And I think we should look into whoever this person is. I'm curious, but this is not about that necessarily right now.
My mom's here because we're shooting on the East Coast and she's from the East Coast. She comes along, but she's skeptical because it's all brand new, like it was for us.
Maybe this is my 4th or 5th shoot. It gives them a lot of great opportunities. I see them being able to relate to adults and experiencing things that I could never even imagine. So it's kind of a great thing in that respect. But I don't know the other side of it. I don't know how that's going to influence them as they get older.
I would say that I do share the concerns that my mom has, but not so. She's very dramatic.
They're little girls. I want them to stay like that.
Psychiatrist Dr.
The fact that she's in tears, I'm glad about, because at least she has some forethought to go, is this right for them? But the fact that she's not doing anything about it, it's sort of like, okay, disappointing. I mean, she's the grandma. What can she really do? But it seems like the mom is like, oh, it's fine. Like, are you sure it's fine with you? But are your kids, they're in a photo shoot. They're not doing kid stuff. I don't know. It just makes them grow up so fast.
Dr. Sue Varma is here with the biggest issues for these social media stars and whether your kids should be following them online. Good morning. So there are the kids who are in the videos, and then there are the kids who are watching them. For the kids who are in the videos, are there psychological risks for parents putting them out there like that?
Yes. The fact that you're even asking that is asinine. Yes, there's psychological risks. There has to be. Even thinking about like Aaron Carter, who obviously just passed away like on Saturday or Sunday. Like, he had a much more traditional Hollywood upbringing, but even that, you got to look at that and go, okay, that is what's about to happen to a lot more families, I believe, in the spotlight. Child vlog star, can they transition into an adult entertainment role? Do they even want to do that? Is their money being spent by the parents? Was it handled correctly? Now they're fighting with each other. Like, of course it's psychological. Yes, there is psychological risks to putting your children, to put them into a working environment. This YouTube channel takes work. Whether you want to admit it or not, it does. It takes work, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes money, it takes time. I said that already, but like time is the biggest thing. Your children should not be exchanging time for income yet. Wait till they're 16 at least. My God, at 18 at the most. But like, they shouldn't be working. This is work.
Children that are social media stars are contending with all of the social pressures of being children in a digital age combined with being a child star. And we know that child stars are more likely to have anxiety, depression, substance issues later on in life because they're dealing with their sense of self-esteem being linked to public approval, career success, right? And the hits and the likes, and there's an intoxication. There's almost like an addiction to it, and they don't have the coping skills to deal with failure and disappointment.
There are rules for kids who work on a film or TV set, but there aren't really rules for this, are there?
No, and it's really concerning because anytime you have a family business, look, the child in this case is the product, right?
Yes,
so
that's right.
When does it end? It's a 24/7 job, and I'm concerned about where do parents who have to gain financially from this, how do they set the rules? And I'm troubled by this because the intrusive nature, it's 24/7, and the parents that are supposed to be protecting them in this case are obviously oversharing sometimes.
Although, to be fair, many of the parents say, look, we're making a lot of money, but kids cost a lot of money, and this is going to college and everything else.
Then don't have children. If you cannot afford to have children, then don't have children. Make that a conscious effort. Don't say, well, I got to put my child to work for me because I can't afford to have a child. Like, he's been on this show before, this anchor. I forget his name. I got to look him up. He was talking to Bethany Frankel, and I sort of like made a comment about him before. And this is the second time he's appeared now where he's made some sort of question that I'm like, are you an idiot? Like, not to call him like boomer, like to age him. It's not an age thing. It's like an understanding of media. You work for a large media conglomerate, but you don't understand, and you're supposed to be explaining things of the world to us, like peon viewers. Okay, how about you take a second to understand like the way this all works for a moment? Like, I just feel like he's like, well, you know, like just spoil your children because they're expensive. Do you think college costs $22 million? Idiot. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean to him as a person, but like, that's an excuse you're gonna like lay towards this person that's trying to come and explain like the psychological risks of putting your kid on TV. Are you focused in? Are you like reading the room here?
So is that a good counterpoint?
No, I don't think so. I think that parents have to be the ones to protect their kids. And the problem is that right now, in a digital age, to achieve success, it is both endless and merciless. And where are we going to teach our kids the values, right? This is really promoting instant gratification at the expense, I think, of substance and depth.
And these kids don't have any other experience. This is all that they know, because some of these kids are babies that are having to be posted online and probably get that validation from the likes and all of that. But what about the other kids who are watching these videos and idolizing these kids that look like their lives are perfect? What's the impact on them?
Yeah, so the kids, we have to make people realize that our sense of mastery and self-esteem has to come from a variety of things. Sports, leadership in the community, leadership in your schools. This is not the be-all and end-all. And I'm concerned when more kids want to be YouTubers as opposed to astronauts. And the fact that we are letting our kids have too much screen time. Kids, when they're spending time with other children, should not be on their screen. They should be outside playing. It is a form of bringing people together, but it's not the only form.
All right, Dr. Sue Varma, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Anyone who says this online community is a replacement for real in-person community is lying to you. I'm sorry. To me, there is absolutely no replacement for, a family unit, a actual community in which you live. You have neighbors and people, and I don't have that. I don't have a robust community. I'm trying to get one at some point in person. Community online, especially when it's like you as the producer of the content of the community in which you like run it. It is something that exists outside of and away from natural human interaction. It has to. Like, that cannot be your entire being. Like, oh, my community in life is me going on YouTube and people watching me. That is not a fair relationship. Like, I hate when people say like, let's have a conversation. Like, Rachel Hollis is a big one to be like, I'm going to just like, as if you were my girlfriend, at lunch. And this is the conversation that me and you would have. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. Like, and I'm speaking to a large group of people. That has its place. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not a replacement for children in a classroom to get to know each other, or kids on a baseball team. Putting them on a YouTube channel, it's not going to replace that. Having people adore you and blocking people who say bad things to you on a platform is not the same thing as working together in a group to solve a problem. It's not the same thing as learning to, cooperate or share or any of that stuff. And I feel badly for people who are bypassing, all those lessons in life to profit immediately because, that's the way to make money. And it's like, even if you want to go even closer in more detail, like the Mila Stauffer stuff, and that's, if you know, Micah Stauffer. She's a person who had her own, similar, I would say, to Heidi in the sense of she had her own personal brand and had a vlog and then had babies and then made more money because people want to see the babies. Then you have the baby shower video, you have the wedding video, you have the baby's born video, you have the baby's naming video, and they're very profitable, at least back then, like when she had her channel. And then on top of that, adoption was like a big hot topic at the time. So she adopted a child, and then the child was difficult for her to raise because it had, issues and medical concerns that she was searching for, specifically her and her husband, I should say, not just her and her husband, both did it. They had a vlog, and they posted about, raising their crazy family together, like, oh, our biological kids, our adopted kid, whatever. And then all of a sudden, the adopted child disappeared, wasn't in any videos anymore, and people who, rightfully so, were like, hey, where's your son? they had to come out, even though they were going to pretend like he didn't exist. They came out and did this video where they're like crying. They're on their bed in white sheets with white because they're angels, explaining why they had to rehome their son. Like, are you kidding me? And you're going to tell me that is like wasn't for financial gain, and then she decided like, oh, or they decided like, oh, this is actually a human life that's like really difficult to take care of. It's not worth the money, the millions of dollars we're making. It's not worth it. I want to enjoy our own children. Like, that's just one example of a horror story to come through. But think about all the people that watch those videos and go, oh, that family's so perfect. They're so perfect. They're so perfect. They're making millions of dollars. Oh my God, I want to do that with my children. It's bad. It's bad. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know. I thought about like even in Hollywood, like there's so many Hollywood stars or Nickelodeon stars and Disney stars that end up not doing well. And it's like, we should not have media with children in it. I'm like, is that a real solution? I don't know. But I just think there needs to be some big deterrent away from putting your kids online and profiting immediately. There's too many risks involved. They cannot consent. That lives forever. And the thing is, like, Heidi and Dave, they're of the age, Heidi's 40, Dave is like almost 50. They're of the age where they didn't grow up as kids having social media. They didn't have YouTube as children. So they don't understand what it's like. I don't even understand. I'm 31. I barely understand what it's like. I was already a teenager. If you were like 3 years old and consuming YouTube content from your whole life, how that would feel if you were now a part of that ecosystem where it lives and breathes forever and ever and ever. I don't know. It's something to think about. Something to keep in mind when, having children, posting them, watching and consuming this content. You're setting your kids up for failure, I think. And I think there's more than this. The conversation has been said a million times already. I've watched enough videos where people have brought light to this concern. We need to figure out what is the solution. Like, is it a government body? Is it some sort of governing body? Is it part of the entertainment industry where they have a board of ethics? Is it some sort of YouTube thing? Is it a social media thing? Is it a law that goes in place? Like, you cannot appear on camera until you've consented and you have to sign away some sort of right. Like, as a parent, there needs to be some sort of like, I don't know, like thing to overcome, because it's too simple just to do it. There's no reason not to do it now. You might as well, just like doing the lottery. It's like, that's $1. I can enter the lottery. I can try. What's the harm? And people will keep doing that until it's like, no, the lottery now costs $1 million to enter. You're only going to get certain people who have that amount of money or are going to, be willing to take a huge loan out of a risk. Like, I know that doesn't really make sense, but there's no reason not to try. The prize is so big. It could potentially be $22 million a year. Look at that one boy. We might as well try. But in the process of trying and most likely failing, because most of the influencers that are going to try are going to not succeed, monetarily at least, they're going to damage the kids along the way. And what is real life? What is for the view of others? What is the way that we talk to each other behind a closed door? What is safety? Am I allowed to walk freely in my house, or do I always have to look around the corner and see if my mom's got her phone out and going to take a video of me? Like, those are the things that kids should not have to deal with. And kids should feel secure and safe in their home, and they should feel that they have privacy when they want it, and not feel like, oh, I can't disrespect my parents by saying no. But that does not happen in every household. I guarantee you, you cannot say no to your parents, and many, many households, mine included. So I gotta get ready for tennis, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, but unfortunately. I want to continue this conversation. I'm gonna cut these highlights somehow, and put them in the highlights channel. There's a link for that in the description below. If you have not joined the membership, but you're thinking about it, there's a link in the description below to become a human member of this membership program. And basically, if you are, hold on, there you go. Humans. There's a private Reddit group that you can join where it's only for members, so we can talk about more, basically whatever you want, and you can post and we can interact there. And also all access to all the emojis, the custom emojis. And I think we're gonna get a new round of those coming up soon. And then soundbite requests, just like basically a more insular group. with no children. No children will be there, most likely. I don't think any children have joined, and I don't have children, so there will be no children exploitation in said group. And then that's it. I'm working on the Bethany Frankel video. It's going to be an edited video. That is coming out. I did a lot of research in addition to the live stream I already did. And so that'll be for people who don't want to sit through a live, because I feel you sometimes. I know these can get long and drawn out. So I'm taking all the juicy parts, putting it into video, and then hopefully everyone likes it. So now it's time for me to sing everyone who is part of the Pancake Breakfast Club, and then we're gonna go to tennis, okay? And we're gonna hopefully I'm not offensive. It's gonna be a little bit of a reggae style today, and hopefully I don't mess it up. So thank you, everybody, and I will see you very soon. Okay, here we go to the song. Hey. Hey. Pancake Breakfast Club members. Hey, hey, we like pancakes and bananas. Angela Arnold, you're the first one. I bet you used to be in first, 'cause you got AA in your name. Nicole Campbell, she doesn't like to gamble. No poker for her. Hey. Brianna Nicole, she wants you to know she's not from the North Pole. And Rainy Cannon, used to be first on the list, but now you're moved on, 'cause you're Cannon. I'm thinking of a word that rhymes with cannon. Cannon, I don't know. Planning, you ain't been planning enough, so now you're fourth. Yeah. And can't forget Kimberly Cossé. She's had the best day. Oh, yeah. She loves the island style. Just like starry nights, every once in a while. When there's a blue moon. Too soon? Hey, Marley Hanno. She doesn't like the piano. The perception trainer. She doesn't like things that drain her. She likes to go all out, like Dave Kelly. You know what he's about? He likes that jelly, but not the smelly jelly. Nah. And Dahlia, she wants you to follow her. Hey, just like Joms. He's like, what up, Mom? Hopefully that wasn't too far. And Chels Marie, she likes things that are free. Me too. Alaska Blue Tundra. He's or she or they are gonna save $100. And Stella Black, she's got all the facts. Just like Soko Lashes, she's got all the California flashes. 'Cause she's from Southern California, baby. Louise V, she's got the tea. She tells me all the tea, just like Nicole Hensley. Hey, Kimberly Harris smiles. She smiles for miles. Bonjour Nancy, c'est appli? I don't know if that's French or is that something just me? Laura Wallace, she is flawless. I love that rhyme. I'll use it all the time. Hey, Alice in Wonderland 66. You're the #1 fan of the show today. She is from Wonderland. She has got that wonder, man. Or woman. We don't know, but we're glad to have you here on the show. Hey! Like Clueless Monet. We like they. Akon's L. You don't belong in hell. Only heaven for you. And N Young too. Also Crystal G. You love me. Hey. Oop. There you go. Thank you everybody for watching and listening, and I will see you next time. Peace. Bye.